but again no goals. And as far as Maxwell Cornet is concerned, big money signing. He's only played 8 times since signing in the summer, so they are 3 very good players, Premier League standard players, but none of them have been playing regularly and none of them are in form.
No, so this is an opportunity for them to show David Moyes what they're all about. I really think this is going to be a totally different game this evening. I think West Ham have got to be better than they were surely in the first game. City have got to be able to match them and then go on and be stronger if they are to win. And it's really important, like the first game we spoke about, Ed, they don't concede an early goal.
Yeah, don't be 1-0 down after 4 minutes. It kind of worked out on that occasion at the London Stadium. You don't want it to happen tonight. So, good atmosphere inside Ashton Gate. There's a couple of spare seats in the away end, but very, very few, and you really can't see a red seat around the rest of Ashton Gate. Huss of anticipation as referee checks his watch. That's Darren England, and it's City with red shirts, white shorts and red socks who get us underway, attacking towards the West Ham fans in the Atio stand in the first half. West Ham are all in blue, sort of think Everton royal blue, and you're somewhere close there. Throw in from Soufal. Cornet controls it but then gives it to a red shirt. Matty James under pressure straight away but maintains possession, and it's back with the centre backs. Tanner opens his body up, plays it wide towards McCrory. It's not a good ball. McCrory does well to battle for it, gets it back to Tanner, and then it's back to O'Leary, who takes his touch and launches it downfield. One in the air. Mehmeti should get there first and does so. Controls it on his chest, lays it back to Williams. Now Gardner-Hickman jinking this way and that, looking for an option. Gives it to Tanner. And already, well, it's a brighter start than they made at the London Stadium, when I don't think they touched the ball for the first 2 or 3 minutes until they went behind. That's not a great pass though from Rob Dickey. Puts it over the top. Nobody'd made the run.
No, I mean, what we see in the opening exchange is how high City have pushed the wing backs on when they've got the ball. McCrory up on the right hand side, Campring up on the left hand side, so they're going to try and push them on to force West Ham back into a back 5. And I've seen City will drop in B4-5-1 out of possession, no doubt about that.
Yeah, and Gardner-Hickman is definitely playing higher at the pitch. He's playing the sort of Jason Knight role, if you will, alongside Mehmeti behind Conway. That obviously could change and they could go to a more of a flat 3 if they feel they're being overrun in midfield.
Yeah, 4-5-1. I think 5-4-1 I meant obviously 5 at the back, 4 in midfield. Taylor Gardner-Hickman just dropping on the right hand side, Mehmeti on the left, Williams and Matty James holding the middle of the pitch.
Ball's just drifted out into touch on the far side. It's going to be a West Ham throw. It is a chilly night. It's not absolutely bitter here in BS3. The other lights of the suspension bridge on away over the Avon Gorge to our left hand side, but it's all about the bright lights in front of us we're focusing on today as Matty James steps in and wins that ball back. Looks to try and release Conway quickly, but that's well covered by Zuma, to be fair. Spotted the flight of the ball early, steps in and takes it away. The West Ham captain getting plenty of abuse from the home fans. He gives it short to Souček. Now it's worked to Soufal down the right hand side, but it's a bit of an aimless punt forward, and that's a poor pass though from Zach Byner, and it's needed a good intervention from Max O'Leary coming out of his goal. He'll certainly get some thanks from Zach Byner, as now an under hit back pass.
Oh, that's got to be!
He's mad. He's a chance for Conway to score. He does! It was an early goal, but in the right net. 2 minutes 50 seconds, first at the City end. They almost gave it away, and a great block from Max O'Leary sends the ball downfield. A misplaced pass from the West Ham defence, seized upon by Tommy Conway, skipped past the goalkeeper Fabianski, could have gone down, kept his feet, and from a tight angle took a couple of touches and passed it into the back of the net. And listen to that noise. The home fans erupt. 3 minutes played, City 1, West Ham 0.
Well, massive moments in the game. City should have been a goal down. Cornet made a mess of the pass through to Ings. City are in big trouble. 30 seconds later, counter-attack. Tommy Conway nicks it past the goalkeeper. I think he's going down for a penalty. He stays on his feet, calm and composed, looks up, rolls it in the empty net. City 1, West Ham 0.
I think it was Soufal who did have a dodgy game in that first one. He just tries to clip it back to his keeper, doesn't realise that Tommy Conway was there, just maybe made a slight bit of contact, but he steadied himself. He knew he had time and he backed himself to just pass it into the back of an open net. Tommy Conway, well, he got the goal in the first game, was a real special one. That was just really bright play, being alive to the possibility of that pass.
Yeah, it was a bad back pass, but the anticipation, the balance in his mind, he's thinking, I can go down here and get a penalty, but he doesn't. And as he takes it, the stumbling steps, he sort of composes himself. He knows where the goal is. One look up, thank you very much.
8 goals for him this season, and it's the perfect start as far as City are concerned. What they can't do, though, is settle down. They're not going to do that if Joe Williams snaps into tackles like that. Wins it cleanly but hard, and then Mehmeti's danced past his man down this near touchline. He's only got 2 in the middle to aim for. He's driving his man into the box, though. Looks to lay it back and then just gets a deflection, I think. And there is a West Ham player down, injured. And eventually the referee is going to call it back. Danny Ings it is that went down. There's a couple of the West Ham players going to get involved, and it was tough, don't get me wrong, from Joe Williams, but it was not studs up. I think it was a good tackle.
It was committed, and that's what you've got to be on an evening like tonight. Well, the referee's called him across now, and he let play continue, so I don't quite understand that.
Well, City were in possession, so it should be their ball. It's one of those where, and the referee shouldn't be stopping that game. Joe Williams being talked to by Danny Ings, and he sort of shoved him away there. So Ings is obviously having his 2 penneth and saying that was naughty, but I think that's just tough. I think Williams just wanted it more than him on that occasion, to use that terrible old football cliche. And yeah, he took a bit of him, but not in a way that's going to lead the referee to blow the whistle.
Yeah, good spot, referee. Ball didn't bounce, drop ball.
Yeah,
brought play back.
And he's having a conversation with Matty James now. And because of that, the possession's going to revert to... no, it's not. He's going to do it again.
Drop it again, yeah.
But this time he is going to let the ball bounce.
What a start.
Yeah.
You know, you're talking about keeping it tight and City go up the other end and get the noses in front early in the game. And I think that's going to make it a better game now. West Ham have to come out at some stage. That will leave spaces and gaps for City to attack.
Yeah, I think you're right. In terms of the game, it's exactly what the making it as entertaining as possible needs. And while I'm all for a bit of entertainment, what we really want is City to make sure that they're in the next round of this competition. At the moment, they've certainly got their noses in front, and they're hustling and harrying West Ham all over the pitch. West Ham barely able to get a foothold in the game at the moment. City lots of possession, it's all in their own half, but they have the lead, and you can hear the home fans celebrating. That's not a great clearance out from Matty James, though. Ings tries to hook it over his head, which he does, and then a bit of miscommunication between Zach Viner and Max O'Leary. It would have been easy for O'Leary to claim. I think he probably would have shouted. Max maybe wasn't shouting loud enough because Zach Viner was just making the birdie song motion with his hands as if he couldn't hear him. Maybe the noise working against City on that occasion.
Yeah, I mean, they scrambled it behind, I suppose, but it's a corner to West Ham, left hand side.
And they do have some big old units, and Ward Prowse's delivery is usually pretty good. He's curled that one in, but that's straight down the throat of City's number 1, and he'll catch those all evening long. And having been, I think, at least partially at fault for that goal up at Deepdale at the weekend, that's a really big moment for Max O'Leary, because he's made his mind up early again to come out of his goal, and he got there just in front of his man, and inadvertently ended up setting up a goal at the other end as Conway is having a nice little run from the right hand side. No, it's McCrory. I did a double take there because I didn't think he'd be that high up the pitch, but he was driving infield, the left-footed shot. Well, less said about that the better.
Yeah, I mean, going back to your point, yeah, good take for Max early in the game. Give him a bit of confidence, but let's not forget, people always remember goalkeepers' mistakes. He made an unbelievable save in the first half, Max O'Leary. Nobody ever talks about that.
It's true. And I think he could have been helped out a bit by his defence in the build-up to that chance being created. But that was the weekend. Now it's all about the FA Cup. 8 minutes in, 1-0 City lead through Tommy Conway, and again good front foot defending from Dickey. He's got it to Mehmeti, who's danced past his man, but just the second player gets enough of a touch on it to take it away from him. But it's going back for West Ham at the moment. That is going to reach goalkeeper Fabianski, and he leathers it up towards the halfway line, where Dickey again wins it in the air. Gardner-Hickman just stabs it back looking for Joe Williams. Williams finds Gardner-Hickman, and Tanner wanted it on the overlap down the right hand side, but they played it back into central defence instead. But City looking very calm and composed in possession at the moment. Tanner now having a little foray forward. He's got McCrory outside him, hugging the touchline, cutting infield. A little attempt at a 1-2 with Gardner-Hickman, doesn't quite come off, and West Ham in possession. Ward-Prowse thought about the forward ball, it wasn't really on, so he plays it square, and now Mavropanos finds Soufal forward to Cornet, tries to stab it back to the Czech wing back, but doesn't have the right weight on the pass, and again City just step in, take the ball away and calmly pass it around at the back. Not a lot of pressure on them at the moment. They are making it difficult to play out into midfield, but the strikers are not putting the player on the ball under a lot of pressure.
The first one.
Yeah, as Pring and Mavropanos went up for that one. I think they've seen that as a tactic. Mavropanos drifting across to this near side to try and help out Soufal. Well, Pring wasn't going to back out of that, was he? And Mavropanos is a bit bigger unit, and that was a meaty challenge, wasn't it?
It was Soufal, wasn't it, in the first game? That was on the end of a few challenges.
A couple of times.
Time Mavropanos, same treatment dished out by Cam Pring, but referee gives a foul.
He does, although that was a much more even contest, wasn't it? The Greek centre-back, much more a physically imposing player, as Matty James looking to step inside on Souček, but gets forced back, maintains possession. Viner, nice cushion pass out to McCrory. Infield to Gardner-Hickman. All feet there from Joe Williams, but he's lost it. A chance now for Ben Rama. A couple of little step overs. Nice check back, but he's got himself into trouble. He's trying to do too much there, and in the end Tanner is able to put it out. He's got unbelievable technique, Ben Rama, but he's overplayed there. Just needed to get the ball moved once he was given the gift by Williams, just holding on to it a little fraction too long.
Yeah, he had bodies in the box. He looked up, but he went for the little mazy run, didn't he? And eventually he was crowded out.
So 1-0 City lead, 10 minutes in this FA Cup third round replay, looking for that first win over West Ham since the 70s. Let's not forget here at Ashton Gate. West Ham in possession, but it's in the central third of the pitch. Back it goes to Zuma, square to Mavropanos, just lays it infield to Souček. That's a nice ball over the top. Down goes Cornet, referee's not interested. Rob Dickie has a little word with the Frenchman as he walks past. It was a nice idea that, and Cornet had tried to spin in behind. The referee not interested in a free kick, but you can see how they could try and get a little bit of value in doing that with the speed of the Frenchman.
Yeah, I mean, pretty basic though from West Ham. That's old school, that, isn't it? City have got the wing backs pushed on, so the space is down the side, the outside of the three centre halves, and they're just trying to play that ball down the outside into that channel. Overhit on that occasion.
Well, City playing some nice football again. It's all in their own half. Oh, lovely feet again from Mehmeti. Can he slide his man through? Oh, Matty James wanted that ball released early. It didn't get done. It's out wide to the left instead, and Pring feigning to cross, but gives it back to Mehmeti, who's had a couple of nice touches early on. Tries to get past Souček, gets a deflection, and the referee says it's come off Mehmeti last. He doesn't look too happy, Mehmeti, but to be fair, the ref's got a better view than we have.
I think that's a corner. I think pretty clearly from here, Ed. I'd say that was kicked straight out by West Ham, but play goes on.
Nice early touches from Mehmeti, and when it starts that way, you just hope that the confidence will surge through him. As long ball forward flicked on by Cornet, but Zach Viner there in plenty of time to cushion the ball back in front of Danny Ings. Gets it back from O'Leary. Infield it goes to Joe Williams. Has to produce a good bit of control there, but does so. Ball forward, one in the air by Mavropanos, turned around the corner in midfield. Ward-Prowse gets it wide to Soufal, who's let that run across him, and I thought that went out. Again, the assistant's got a better view than we have and says it didn't, but City win the ball back comfortably and nonchalantly there from Joe Williams, outside of the boot along the edge of his own area to find Zach Viner. That's not the greatest of passes from Tanner, and then McCrory does well initially to win it back, but then his second touch is a little bit heavy. City getting enough bodies back to try and deal with it. Soufal's touch I don't think was intended for Cornet, but that's where it's ended up, left hand edge of the area, and then Soufal looking to try and get past Matty James, and this time it's the decision the other way, one that looked like it was going for a corner, and the assistant and man in the middle both say no, goal kick. And 13 minutes in, well, I would imagine Liam Manning couldn't have imagined too much better than this.
Dream start. I mean, they looked a little bit flat on Saturday, but they look re-energised this evening. Really look up for it, passing the ball round quite nicely. One or two half situations at West Ham have been caused by a little bit of slackness, sloppy passing in the defensive third, but they look quite dangerous going forward. Tommy Conway has got his goal, and Mehmeti's looked very, very sharp in the opening 15 minutes or so.
And now sloppy pass from Mavropanos. Both look a little bit nervy at times. Tommy Conway just indicating that he quite like a ball over the top at some point to chase. I think he's not the sort of lightning quick, but I think he'd fancy his chances against at least two of the other three centre-backs. But either way, the throw-in is taken, and it's gone all the way back to Max O'Leary, 10 yards outside his own area. Plays it across to Dickey. Infield to Mehmeti, who's under pressure from Mavropanos. So back to O'Leary it goes, under a little bit of pressure there. Doesn't get as much height as he wanted on that one. Souček wins it in the air, but City have got enough bodies around him, and that's neatly laid off by Conway to find Gardner-Hickman, who was thinking about releasing McCrory. I'd like to have seen that happen, but he decided better to keep it short, and now Gardner-Hickman crosses the halfway line, checks, faced by a couple of blue shirts, jinking this way and that. And they're maintaining possession. They're not really penetrating very often at the moment, but they're controlling the game a lot more than they managed at times at the other weekend. And now a bit of space for Mehmeti to drive down the left wing. He's got Pring outside him, looking to try and dance in field, but that was really good work from Maxwell Cornet actually, because he took out the layoff to Pring, and that just made it a bit difficult for him, and Soufal defended well in the end. It's back with the Happy Hammers as Ben Rama neatly escapes a tight area, but he's heading back towards the halfway line.
Yeah, they're not too happy at the moment, Ed.
Yeah, the unhappy Hammers.
Hammers, I think.
As they try and punch the ball through Mavropanos, but Dickey blocks it, and now he's having a little maraud forward, plays it towards Gardner-Hickman. Gardner-Hickman, nice curling pass to Conway. Conway on the left-hand edge of the area, backing his man into the box. Couple of little step-overs, lays it into the middle, looking for Mehmeti. Gets the power, not the accuracy. Always a couple of yards over the bar, but really well worked from City. Conway could have tried to shoot, picked out a player in a better position, and Mehmeti will feel he should have got it on target.
Good play from City. Tommy Conway just staying on the ball in the corner of the penalty box, and then just a little sideways pass to Mehmeti's just outside the D, but not a very well executed shot, I have to say. But Mavropanos, every time anybody runs at him, the first thing he does is put his hands behind his back. And how can you move? How can you run? How can you keep your balance with your hands behind your back?
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Who has taught him that?
Well, it's the way that the laws have made players change the way they yeah,
but inside
defend,
the box,
isn't it?
I don't like seeing that. I can understand.
Yeah.
But outside the box,
no, you're right.
On.
You're right. As West Ham manoeuvre the ball forward here, Ward-Prowse about 10-15 yards inside the City half, plays a square pass, finds Cresswell, wanted somebody to be moving forward for him. He goes square once more to Ben Rama. Ben Rama then plays a penetrative pass towards Ings. That's a lovely turn. He's got the shot away. It's just wide. Best moment of the half from West Ham's point of view. Just that little bit of experience. Rolled his defender, got power on the shot, but maybe a yard wide of the far post.
Yeah, it just shows you've got to be alive, you've got to be alert. Out of nothing really. One touch turn, zips in the shot low, trying to arrow it into the bottom corner. Max O'Leary scrambling across his goal, but thankfully that one went wide.
O'Leary's played the resulting goal kick out towards McCrory, who wins it in the air, but it's won back by West Ham, and then it's City who nick it back. Joe Williams in the other heart of it, as is so often the other case, battling away, plays it back towards O'Leary, and does well to pick out his keeper, who controls it, launches it downfield. Ben Rama able to bring it under control, but that's well stepped in by Viner, but the pass doesn't find its intended target. But a good strong tackle again from Joe Williams, definitely getting involved, whether with or without the ball. Long ball forward, Zuma does well to reach that one, and then a 30-yard header back to his own goalkeeper by Aaron Cresswell, but does it very comfortably. So 18 minutes in, 1-0 City lead, and at the moment West Ham are not really offering a massive attacking threat, but when you've got someone like Ings on the field, you know you only need to give him half a chance, and you'll be in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, they've settled a little bit after the goal, but I wouldn't say they're controlling the game. City are well organised out of possession, and City still have an outlet, I think, with Conway, even though he's isolated, one ball down the side and you can get Zuma on his toes. I mean, he's big, strong and physical, but he doesn't really look light on his feet, does he?
No, and I like the way Mehmeti started. You wonder whether the signing of Scott Twine, who plays in a similar position to Mehmeti, maybe it just gives you a little extra incentive to go out here. Not that you need too much more incentive in front of the TV cameras and a packed house at Ashton Gate, but he has started very brightly as well. City a goal to the good. O'Leary with a free kick for an offside against West Ham. Ball forward and Pring's going to get there in front of Soufal, who was more bothered about blocking the player than he was the ball there for a moment. I just get the feeling Pring's got in his head from that first encounter. And the throw-in is about 5 yards from the corner flag. City attacking from right to left towards the Atio stand, taken short towards Mehmeti, who gets it back to Pring, who's got past his man, tries the reverse ball in towards Matty James. Defender gets there first, but it's cleared only as far as the red shirt. Dickey recycles it to Viner. Nice neat play from City here. They've got the ball with a few blue shirts around them, although again too much time on the ball there from Matty James. He's had a couple of those where he's just needed an extra half second that wasn't there. And now West Ham looking to try and play quickly. Cornet gets it wide to Soufal. Soufal looks up, faced by Pring, goes back to Mavropanos. Mavropanos infield to Zuma on the halfway line. Keeps the ball moving to Cresswell. Cresswell forward to Ben Rama. Ben Rama looking to try and jink past the City midfield, but can't manage it, so back it goes to Cresswell. 20 minutes played. Zuma getting the boos from the home fans for his exploits, no doubt, a couple of years ago. He got in trouble with the RSPCA. Long ball forward here from Cresswell out to the right touchline of Soufal. Lays it infield to Cornet. Cornet being challenged by Mehmeti, forced away from goal. Finds Souček, then Zuma, and this is probably about as long as West Ham have held on to the ball. It's all middle third possession, going one side to the other, and then a poor pass there from Cresswell, sending Mavropanos back deep inside his own half under pressure from Mehmeti, trying to play out. That was not a million miles away from putting themselves in trouble, but Ward-Prowse just about evades it.
They're not going anywhere, Ed.
No.
I mean, they're passing the ball around the back through midfield, but they're not threatening the back line at all.
So Soufal keeps asking for the ball over the top, and I think his teammates are looking at it and seeing Pring in front of him and thinking, you're not getting there in front of him, so it kind of locks that one off as the ball worked into Ben Rama, and it's a silly challenge there from I think McCrory had the initial nibble, and then Tanner joined in because he was going the wrong way, didn't need to put the tackle in, but it's a soft free kick, and even though they're missing a couple of their giant players, there are plenty enough that are good in the air that you don't want to keep giving them chances.
Yeah, and I think it's the person that's going to be the free kick taker who's key here, Ward-Prowse. We know he's got fantastic delivery. He's going to drop that in just behind that City back line. So there is another player there, but it's Emerson. I'm sure he'll walk away, which he does. So there's a little knot of 4 West Ham players, probably 10 yards beyond the far post on the edge of the area. Now they start making moves towards the box, into the danger zone. Oh my goodness.
And who's touched that one last?
Nobody.
Mavropanos was in there, and if it was touched, it was far enough away from the goal that it wasn't really a threat, but that was a delivery that really, as a defender, that keep you up at night, that.
Brilliant ball, knew it was coming, just whipped in. Might have been the slightest touch, all it needed was a touch. I've got a little hunch that it missed everyone and just bounced behind for a goal kick, but very, very close to going straight in as well.
Yeah, and you don't want to give a team like West Ham, who is so good at set pieces, you want to limit the number that they get to as few as humanly possible. And that was one that they absolutely could have avoided. So 23 minutes in, we're a quarter of the way through this FA Cup third round replay here on the midweek match on BBC Radio Bristol and BBC Radio Somerset, and it's so far so good. That early goal from Tommy Conway putting City in the lead. Been a couple of nervy moments at the back, but not all that many. City have given as good as they've got, and even better on the scoreboard. Cresswell has it, punches it forward towards Ben Rama. Ben Rama trying to take on Tanner, gets a fortunate ricochet, gets the ball back at his feet, then lays it down the other channel for Emerson. Emerson's first time crossing to Cornet. That's a good ball, and Cornet could and should have done better than that. Pring did well to get back and put him under pressure, but Cornet really should have made a better connection.
He should have. He gets ahead of Cam Pring, but Cam Pring somehow gets the final touch. Goal-saving tackle, conceded a corner, but live with that for the time being.
So Ward-Prowse again in swinging right footer. He's got Ben Rama who's come short. He's ignored him completely into the near post, where it's a good head out from Joe Williams. It's going to come back to Ward-Prowse. Mehmeti closes him down, lays it off to Emerson. Emerson goes for the right footed shot. It hits a West Ham player, comes to another West Ham player, and it's pushed wide of target by Cornet inside the 6-yard box. So many bodies in there. I'm not sure there could have been an offside flag, but that would have been scrappy as you like. City have conceded a few goals like that. That would have been a real sickener.
Yeah, I think that's going to go down as a bad miss. I think it was Souček, left side of the 6-yard box, sort of volleyed it across the face of the goal. Cornet coming in, got a good connection, but nowhere near on target. But it is a little bit of a let-off.
They've looked for that long ball again towards Cam Pring, and Soufal's obviously learned his lesson a little bit. He had no interest in the ball at all there. All he wanted to do was put his body on Pring, stop him from competing for it, and that's, let's face it, that's probably what he should have done in the first game.
Get nice and tight and stop him getting in the air, stop him jumping across here, and then just leave the ball, and the ball just drifts out of play for a throw into West Ham.
Which they've taken, and it's back with Cresswell, looking for that long ball forward towards Cornet. It should be Dickie's, and that's a nice little back header there, just getting enough on it. And to be honest with those long straight balls, Dickie will eat those all night, because there's not a lot of height, even though they've got a lot of tall players. None of it's up front for West Ham. Yeah,
they shouldn't get done with a long straight ball. Obviously we spoke about the space maybe being down the sides, down the outsides.
And there's a bit of space for City to try and exploit there, as McCrory just not quite on the same wavelength as his striker. Conway had made the diagonal run across the box. McCrory played it to where he was rather than where he was going, but that was nicely worked out of defence by City. They did well. They win the ball back again, but it was a little scruffy, and it's broken to a blue shirt. Lovely touch from Ben Rama on the left-hand side. He's trying to back Tanner into the area, but Gardner-Hickman comes across to lend a hand, and that allows Tanner to stick out a big right boot and put it out for a throw-in, taken quickly. Emerson controls it, goes back to Ward-Prowse, slips it infield to Souček, back to Ward-Prowse, but he's nearer his own half now than he is the penalty box. Gardner-Hickman doing a good job of forcing him towards the halfway line. Now it's Zuma, put under pressure by Conway. Mavropanos stepping in field on a bit of pressure, but going sideways rather than forwards. Now he's worked it out to the left. Ben Rama, a little 1-2 with Emerson. Back in field to Ward-Prowse. Can't afford to let him have time on the ball. It's now wide with Ben Rama once more. Cresswell down the line for Emerson, thinking about putting it into the box, but decides not to. Cresswell takes over. Lots of nice neat little triangles. It's all tight to that far touchline. Now they flick it into the path of Ings, who's gone out to that left wing once more. Ben Rama standing on the ball, just lays it back to Cresswell. Well, they've had the ball over there for about 60 seconds, never threatened to get it into the box. Maybe Ben Rama will try and do that now. He's got Viner in front of him, lays it back. Cresswell's first time cross is attacked well by Dickie, and that allows City to clear the area. And you can see they don't want to hang the cross up because they'll probably lose it, but at some point they've got to try and do something rather than just keep passing it on the left wing.
They've got to pass the ball sharp at West Ham if they want to cut through City. They're playing very, very patient build-up, but it's all too slow, and they're just allowing City to get behind the ball, get nice and tight and compact, and defend very, very deep. There's no space for West Ham to play in.
And there's probably a little bit, certainly with that front three, they have to say they haven't played massive amounts of minutes this season, so maybe not quite as sharp as you would be if you were playing regularly. Ball over the top here, they're looking for Soufal. It's just going to beat him through to O'Leary. It's a nice idea, but they never looked like there was enough space there, as Mehmeti closed down by Mavropanos quickly. David Moyes wanted the throw-in to go his team's way. It didn't. Pat Mountain, the City goalkeeping coach, recovers it, and Cam Pring is in no particular hurry to get on with this one, with his team 1-0 up. 28 minutes on the first half clock. Throws it back to Rob Dickie, who's got no pressure on him at all. Square it goes to Zach Viner, who's made a couple of sloppy passes. That one is picked off by Ben Rama. He just tried to be a little bit too greedy there, as Emerson, looking to get it back to Ben Rama, just about manages it, but sends his wide man right to the touchline. Lovely feet, as we know he's got from the former Brentford man, jinking this way and that, and then he does whip across him, but headed clear by Joe Williams, and then further away by Mehmeti. Conway will give chase. There are 3 players in front of him. Slightly awkward looking chest back from Zuma, just about finds Cresswell, and now Ward-Prowse has it in the centre circle. Wants to open it out to this near side, goes infield instead to Souček, but he's crowded out by red shirts. And then Dickey, he's tried to lay that to a teammate and he's played it too far away. Now Ings maybe with a chance to get there, but that's good cover from Zach Viner. Real pace shown to get across there, and slides it into touch for nothing worse than a throw-in. Taken quickly, but you can't take it because there's a ball on the pitch.
Yeah, West Ham are enjoying a good spell of possession. Still not really threatening Max O'Leary's goal. City have just been penned in maybe for the last 5 or 10 minutes.
The noise has just dropped a decibel or two. Soufal winding up the long throw. Mavropanos wins it in the air, but that's going to bounce very kindly through to Max O'Leary. A couple of City defenders stepping out of the way when they heard their keeper shout for it. And much ado about nothing, but they will look to get the ball in the mixer as often as possible, and they have a fair bit of success with it. And in the build-up to this, well, I'll talk about that in a minute, because that's nicely laid off by McCrory to find Gardner-Hickman. Then McCrory finding Mehmeti, who's popped up on the inside right channel for once. Now wide on the far touchline, it's Gardner-Hickman, tries to get into the area. Conway goes down, there wasn't really much in that. He was looking for the free kick. West Ham thinking about a quick break. Cornet being closed down by Cam Pring. Has to check back out towards Soufal, who dodges the attentions of Mehmeti, but has to go backwards to maintain possession. And the point I was going to make is, you look at the teams that West Ham have beaten. They've beaten Arsenal, Man United, Wolves, Spurs, all in the last month. They've won 2 or 3 games in Europe against the likes of Freiburg in Germany and all this. I mean, they have beaten the best teams in the country, and over a game and a third now, they haven't been better than City. No, they haven't. I'm sitting in the Premier League in 6th position. I mean, this is a very, very good team, but City have had the better of them. Yeah, of course they have so far, but still a long way to go. We always say that, and they have got quality at the top of the pitch. Benrahma looks bright, he looks lively. Maybe 1 or 2 too many touches in the attacking area. Ings, we know, can score out of nothing. Cornet's been involved, but at the moment it's not helping them. 1-0, 31 minutes played. Tommy Conway, his second goal in 2 games against the Premier League side, as Pring works the touchline. Little flick on from Soufal, wasn't where he wanted, and Mavropanos is not messing around at all there, just plays it out for a throw-in instead of trying to go back to his goalkeeper. And that probably tells you that they're just lacking a little bit of confidence, because I've no doubt if that's one of the City defenders, they're probably going to go back to the keeper. Yeah, they are. I mean, when City got them early at the game, they didn't look comfortable, did the back 3 defenders? Don't. So City have to try and get them under pressure again. It'd be great if they can go and hunt the second goal. So an under-hit back pass again by Zuma, who didn't realise Conway was so close to him and was being really lackadaisical, but getting away with it on that occasion. That's an awful back pass again from Soufal, who gave away the goal. He's giving it to Conway this time, tries to go on the outside. Mavropanos does a good job and stops that from happening at the expense of a throw-in, but that's a couple of really sloppy passes. Yeah, they're 2, and West Ham have looked alright going forward to a point, but they've looked really, really shaky at the back when under pressure. Yeah, you feel that there's more chances in this game for City if they can play at the level they'd like. Throw-in is taken. It's going to go all the way back to the centre circle now, and Viner. Time for him to measure a pass. He's under-hit that one. Soufal under pressure from Pring. And again, he looks at the referee wanting the free kick. He's not getting it. So it's going to be a City throw, as it came off straight off his head out on this near touchline, as City attack from right to left towards the Atio stand. Pring back to Dickey once more, quite happy to go back, and now Viner finding Tanner looking at options, holding on to the ball, gets it into Mehmeti. Probably needs to hold that up rather than trying to beat his man, and now it's Emerson having a little snaking run forward, looking for the little reverse pass, but just puts a bit too much on it for the player who's looking for, and McCrory looking to try and bring things away. That's a poor pass from McCrory, didn't give Mehmeti any chance, but similarly poor pass there from West Ham. It was Ward-Prowse for once with an inaccurate ball and it hasn't been the highest quality of games, you'd have to say, but I think that's a measure of how hard both teams are working to close the other one down. They're not really been given a second's piece.
No, not high quality, but it's grabbed our attention, hasn't it? Because City have got the noses in front early in the game, and the West Ham are there to be beaten. Yeah,
they are at the moment, with 11 minutes left to go of normal time in the first half. West Ham haven't really conjured out that many opportunities for their sort of dominance of possession in the last 10 minutes or so. And now it's them in possession on the halfway line. Cresswell giving it wide to Ben Rama, who's dropped deep. Nice neat little triangle there, but again it doesn't get them anywhere. Back to the halfway line they go. Cresswell then looking to switch from left to right. Cam Pring isn't going to get there. Soufal looking to lay it off, but he's got the angle wrong there, and that's good work from Pring, holding off a couple of players, laying it back to Dickey, whose clearance gets up towards the halfway line. Again, sloppy touch this time from Mehmeti, allows Soufal to win it back, and he's going to try and have a run at Pring, and I think he's going to be sick of the sight of him by the end of tonight. He's not particularly enjoyed his contest up against the City left wing back.
No, and he's come off second best in my opinion in that little duel.
Pring just easing him over the sideline. It's a City throw, albeit deep in their own half, and the home fans will raise their voices. Two West Ham players getting in each other's way. Mavropanos just about able to bring it down, but then the ball forward blocked out by Dickey. The rebound rather comes to Souček, and then it's worked to Emerson in field, but it's back to the halfway line. Cresswell again into Ward-Prowse. Emerson half a yard of space, but that's closed down. He's trying to lay it forward. He's still going down that far touchline. They've done well here. Now into the edge of the area where Ings has got an angle, plays to play it back, and I think it was past O'Leary, but it wasn't past Pring on the line, who puts it behind for nothing worse than a corner kick. That is the best they've produced.
It is, but you know what? Danny Ings had a bad touch at a critical moment. You think that he's the one that's going to get his shot off, and in the end, because of the poor touch, it's only a cross. City clear.
Yeah, it just took him a little bit wide, didn't it? And that gave City a chance to get bodies back. Whipped in right under the bar. It's dropped by Max O'Leary, and then hacked away by Tanner. Well, O'Leary's looking towards the referee. There's nothing wrong with what West Ham did. He was really stretching to get his hands on that. Couldn't. He's got to keep it in his gloves. And it's a good job that George Tanner was there to hook it away from danger.
Yeah, he sort of half caught it and pulled it down, which made it bounce awkwardly. George Tanner done well.
As this corner kick for once has taken short. Ward-Prowse lays it back towards Cresswell. Cresswell being closed down by Conway. The clearing header from Viner doesn't have a lot of distance on it, but he's got time to bring that one down on his chest and get a bit more distance on that one. Long ball forward, Gardner-Hickman gives chase, but there's a bit of room here for Emerson. The game just getting a little bit stretched for a moment. Emerson held up by Tanner, who produced that good tackle, that good clearance rather, a minute ago, and I don't think there was much in that, but Gardner-Hickman didn't need to be quite so aggressive. He's given away another free kick, and we've said this a couple of times already this half, they can't afford to keep giving free kicks away around their box.
No, I mean, it's wide on the left-hand side, probably 3 or 4 yards in, level with the 18-yard box, but we've already seen Ward-Prowse deliver a fantastic curling in-swinging free kick from there, which everybody missed. Almost found its way at the back of the net, and I'm sure this is going to be much of the same.
Yeah, it's the less of an angle actually probably makes it a little bit harder, but if that tackles on the halfway line, I've got no problem with it, but anywhere around your own area, don't give them a chance to earn free kicks, because that does look like their best opportunity at the moment. City holding a line almost on the penalty spot. There are 5 West Ham players beyond the far post at the moment. Ward-Prowse stands ready. Every City player back in and around their box. Ward-Prowse whips it in right-footed towards the near post. It's a Zach Viner header. Max O'Leary's going to try and get there. His own man gets in the way, and Gardner-Hickman slightly apologises. O'Leary's obviously shouted, but he hasn't got out of his way, and because he's stood in the way, the spin on the ball takes it behind for a soft corner kick.
Yeah, more importantly, good defending from Zach Viner from the initial free kick. Here comes a corner from Ward-Prowse.
He's getting plenty of practice. as that one whipped into the near post. It's good header away from McCrory, put back in by a West Ham head, but I think there were a couple of players offside there, and the ball beats them all anyway and comes through to O'Leary, who had plenty of time to bring that one under control. Throws it out towards Pring. Cornet trying to get back with him. Pring showing good power to get past him, and then Mehmeti jinks his way past his man and then looks back wanting the free kick. To be fair, I think the ref played advantage, and then Mehmeti just lost the ball over the other sideline, which is a shame because he danced past his man really quite neatly.
Yeah, and he has done on numerous occasions, hasn't he? Just couldn't get round the other side of the defender to pick up play.
Soufal to Zuma. That wasn't far away from being nipped by Gardner-Hickman. Zuma doesn't always look the most graceful of defenders, but again, as you picked out earlier, very powerful player. He plays it back to Fabianski under pressure. Gets the ball up towards the halfway line. Dickey wins it well in the air. Soufal gets it forward. Williams then heads it wide, looking for the run of Mehmeti. Mehmeti looking to drift infield, pushing Soufal away, who was trying to drag him over the sideline. Mehmeti feigning to go down the line, but it gets recycled instead. Now into Mehmeti on the edge of the area. It's nicely little triangles, but they're not getting anywhere at the moment. Mehmeti can now turn, trying to get past his man. Can't beat Cornet, but does maintain possession. Then Williams driving it cross field. It's low, flat, hard trajectory. Nice idea. Always a little bit too high for McCrory, who was making the run but never really. Well, he's had to have been 8 foot to get on the end of that one, Gary. Yeah,
it's over here. I mean, right idea. Diagonal switch of play to the corner of the 6-yard box, and City having a few passes, a little bit of joy, keeping the ball on the left-hand side, but just got too tight, and Joe Williams trying to open up play, but overhit pass.
Heavy touch from Matty James in midfield, which is a shame because Pring had done well to win the ball back for City. Soufal tidies it up and gives it to Zuma, halfway inside his own half. He's got space to move forward into, crosses the halfway line now, gives it square to Cresswell. Cresswell drifting infield, then checks back onto his left foot, gives it wide. Benrahma hugging the touchline, back to Ward-Prowse, don't want to give him too much time on the ball. Mavropanos now takes over again, 10 maybe 15 yards inside the City half, wide to Soufal, who throws his arms up wide like, who am I supposed to pass to? So backwards it goes to Mavropanos. Soufal just about keeps it in, and it's all the way back to the keeper. And there's been quite a bit of that from West Ham, which shows a little bit of lack of invention from them, but a lot of good covering and defending from City. Yeah,
good pressing. I mean, he didn't really have to go back the goalkeeper, didn't he? Could have gone back to one of his centre halves, but City will just be happy with that. Just gives them a little breather, allows them to get back into their shape, nice and tight and close together again.
And they've won the ball back from a loose pass forward. Viner finding Williams. Now McCrory under pressure, having to go back into his own half, just about able to get it back to Viner, who steps in, goes for the ball over the top. He's just put a bit too much on that one, although the keeper's controlled it outside his area when he could have let it go in. Just put his team under a little bit of pressure, and now the back pass to him. He sidesteps very neatly the attentions of Gardner-Hickman and Conway, but that was pressure he didn't need to put himself under. He could have just taken a couple of steps back, picked it up inside his box.
I agree. I mean, that's always a position I'd worry about goalkeepers. When they find themselves a yard outside the box trying to do that, what are they thinking? Stay inside your box and pick it up.
Yeah, well, if you've got to come out to get there, then you understand that, but he had all the time in the world. He could have done anything he wanted. City in possession. We've got 2.5 minutes to go to the break. They're 1-0 up here in this FA Cup third round replay against Premier League side West Ham. Matty James forward to Conway. Conway back into his own half, finds Dickey. Now into Joe Williams. Home fans raise the decibels again. Viner keeps it moving to Dickey. Dickey's got a couple of options. He goes infield to Joe Williams. Williams just caresses the ball out to Tanner on the right hand side. McCrory wants it down the line, but he gives it back to Williams instead. There's cat and mouse stuff here. West Ham, lots of bodies in that middle third of the pitch, but they're not pressing the ball. They want City to take a chance. Now they're going to go and press a little bit higher. Viner trying to beat that press, clipping it out to the far side. It was the right pass, the wrong execution of it, straight into touch for a West Ham throw. So that did work from West Ham, the cat and mouse game, and now they're in possession. Ward-Prowse thinking about a long diagonal, but Gardner-Hickman was close enough to him that he decided not to. Of course, fresh from signing that new 5-year permanent deal, so he'll be staying here at Ashton Gate for the foreseeable future. as Zuma keeps it moving to Mavropanos. Again, lots of arms being splayed out, like who am I supposed to pass it to when West Ham players are on the ball? And then they give it away, and it's won back by City. Tommy Conway looking to try and drive forward across the halfway line. Almost left the ball behind there for a moment. Runs in to Cresswell, but wins the throw-in out of it. And we're a minute of normal time away from half-time, plus whatever added extras we get. And with City with their noses in front, they'll be sniffing a little piece of FA Cup history at the moment, Gary.
Yeah, they will. I mean, it's been good so far. Fantastic start, and then just settled, calmed down, kept West Ham at more than arm's length, I would say. I'm not sure that I recall Max O'Leary making any kind of important save. A couple of half chances that West Ham have spurned, but so far so good for City, yeah. So 30 seconds of normal time to play. West Ham have it in their own half. Soufal looking for the long ball forward. I don't think Ings was going to get there, even if he hadn't had his run balked by the City defence, but they did exactly what they needed to there, stopping him getting any momentum going forward. Pring was just having a little lurk forward there. Joe Williams quite content to just slow play down. It's walking pace at the moment, and he gives it square to Tanner. Tanner looking for the ball over the top for Gardner-Hickman. He's going to get there in front of his man. 1 minute of added time, which we're just starting. Gardner-Hickman recycling the ball in field, finding Williams, then gets it back, right-footed, curls it into the danger zone. Pring attacked the ball, and Soufal was lazy on that one, didn't realise he was coming. It is a corner kick. Maybe, just maybe, a chance to double the lead before the break. That was well worked by City down the right, and again, Soufal, well, he probably didn't know that Pring was running, but he almost got caught out. He didn't. I mean, he was static, standing jump. Cam Pring's attacking that inches away grip ball in from Gardner-Hickman. Soufal clears with his head, corner to City in injury time.
So Matty James is going to take it. He's got Mehmeti short, but this one's going in. Curls it into the edge of the 6-yard box. McCrory up, it's going to come to the edge of the box. Laid back towards Joe Williams. Williams back out to Mehmeti. Right hand edge of the area. Left footed shot, low near post, tipped behind by Fabianski. Another corner kick. We've played a minute of added time. City, having started the half brightly, are ending it brightly.
Yeah, good. Just recycled that corner kick, switched the ball back to Mehmeti. Cuts inside, shot low in the bottom corner, it's going in. Fabianski has to dive and make the save.
So Gardner-Hickman to deliver this one. Right-footed, it's clipped more into the edge of the area where it's headed goalwards by McCrory. Gets a good strong header on that one. It was a long way away, but he got it on target. A comfortable save in the end, and there is the half-time whistle. So far so good for Bristol City. Well, Gary Hours, there's 45 minutes still to go, but a lot of these home fans will be pretty excited as they head for their half-time refreshments.
Yeah, and why not? Brilliant opening 45 minutes from Bristol City. Got the noses in front early in the game. Tommy Conway, another brilliant finish, and then they haven't really looked bothered. They've been really, really comfortable against a West Ham team that have been very, very slow in moving the ball, allowed City to get into shape, into position, sit and defend deep, and Max O'Leary hasn't had a save to make.
So Tommy Conway, the only goal of the game so far, seizing on what was a crazy passage of play. A poor pass from City's defence led to a West Ham attack. The attempted through ball just a bit too far in front of Danny Ings, and Max O'Leary coming sprinting out of his area, launching it downfield just in front of the West Ham striker. It went out to this near touchline, that's the West Ham right. Vladimir Soufal controlled it and then rather nonchalantly and lazily laid the ball back to his keeper without realising that Tommy Conway was lurking. He nipped in front of the keeper, got clipped but stayed on his feet, and from a tight angle passed it into the back of an unguarded net, which is why the half-time score here at Ashton Gate is Bristol City 1, West Ham 0.
Late Nights with Becky Want.
I was the first person in the world, I think the only person in the world still.
Really, still?
Yeah, it's because I would perform it all myself, so I would sign and speak it. So I wanted to try to do something a little bit different, but something that's also still a bit visual, Becky, so that deaf people, if they still are coming, they can still see things, if that makes sense, rather than just a bald ginger man standing on stage for 2 hours.
I thought women aren't like that. We've got cellulite, we snag our tights, we trip over in heels. So wouldn't it be funny to take that, turn them on the head and make them really, really funny?
Late Night Becky, Sunday to Thursday nights from 10.
Richard Hoskin with you at Ashton Gate, where it's half-time, and Bristol City lead West Ham.
Bit of an aimless punt forward, and that's a poor pass though from Zach Byner, and it's needed a good intervention from Max O'Leary coming out of his goal. He'll certainly get some thanks from Zach Byner, as now an under-hit back pass.
Oh, that's got to be!
If he caught his man, he's a chance for Connie Conway to score! He does! It was an early goal, but in the right net. 2 minutes 50 seconds, first at the City end. They almost gave it away, and a great block from Max O'Leary sends the ball downfield. A misplaced pass from the West Ham defence, seized upon by Tommy Conway, skipped past the goalkeeper Fabianski, could have gone down, kept his feet, and from a tight angle took a couple of touches and passed it into the back of the net. And listen to that noise. The home fans erupt. 3 minutes played, City 1, West Ham 0.
So much to enjoy with that goal, Gary.
Yeah, certainly was. Poor back pass. Tommy Conway anticipating the back pass, just touches it past the goalkeeper, who almost took him down for a penalty, and then just a couple of touches just to check his bearings and compose himself. Quick look up, I think, and then just rolls it into that empty net, and that is a dream start for City.
Was that the longest 2 seconds of his life, with the open goal in front of him?
Yeah, but he knew. Listen, he's a goal scorer. I keep saying that. People can say what they want about him, but if he gets a chance, the fancy that he's going to take it, and that's pretty easy. Once he's had that touch to set himself, he's never going to miss from there.
There was a spell, 5-10 minutes, where I thought City rode their luck a little bit, but City got back into the game, and they're on top at the moment.
Rode the luck a little bit to some degree. I mean, the lack of quality really in the attacking third from West Ham. Maybe a shot from distance, I think, was it Ben Rama went skipping past the post. Corney got in, should have done better with a connection. Wide free kick from Ward Prowse that missed everyone bouncing, could have easily hit the side net and then went wide. But they haven't really opened up. City carved them apart, and really when they are passing it and keep possession, it's very, very laboured and slow, the build up from West Ham.
So take me into the two dressing rooms. First of all, the City dressing room. What's Leah Manning saying at the moment to his players?
Probably disappear for a couple of minutes, just to let the sting, let the players sort of let off a little bit of steam, or just calm down, and then it'll just be probably a calming, soothing, shall we say, team talk. Keep doing much of the same, because why would they change it when they're in a winning position? Reinforce a few messages for sure. There might be times or a period in the second half when they're going to have to dig deep, and West Ham at some point will have moments of pressure or a period of pressure, but just keep playing with confidence, keep trusting in your shape and trusting each other, and most of all work really, really hard.
And a penny for David Moyes' thoughts. 5 of his 9 subs are 40, shirt numbers 40 or above. He doesn't have a lot of options, does he?
No, I mean, they're not going to be bad players. It's young players at a Premier League club, just like City sat there with young players on the bench. If they're on the bench, they should be good enough to be thrown in, if you like. I think he'll be frustrated, and he'll be maybe that might come through. He knows his team have got to do better. His team have got an awful lot to do to get through the next round of this cup tie.
We've got some half-time entertainment. There's a cider apple, a big inflatable cider apple. 2 supporters racing from one end of the pitch to the other. We'll be back for the second half. Gary, have a breather. I'm commentary to come here on BBC Radio Bristol and BBC Radio Somerset with Ed Hadwin and Gary Hours. Latest scores in the FA Cup. Wolves 1, Brentford 1 is into the second half. That was an early 7:30 kick-off. Half-time at St Andrews, Birmingham 0, Hull City 1. Bolton Wanderers 1, Premier League Luton 1 is another half-time. And with Manchester United waiting the winners, it's currently Eastleigh 0, Newport County 1. Now, as you can imagine, the press box here at Ashton Gate is a bit busier than normal. Not just the local media watching today's game, but also the national press. Henry Winter is one of the leading sports writers in the country, writes for The Times. I had the pleasure of speaking to him in the past. I remember when City played Man United and Man City. Well, he was in the press room earlier, and I couldn't resist having a catch-up with Henry Winter from The Times.
It's always a genuine pleasure to speak to Henry Winter from The Times. Henry, we've spoke ahead of City's games. I remember the Manchester United game and the Man City Cup run. Here we are again, third round of the FA Cup. What do you make of modern day Bristol City with Liam Manning now as head coach?
Well, I went to see Liam Manning at the start of the season, pre-season, at Oxford United's training grounds, and he was going there talking through his sort of ambitions for the club, the plans for a new stadium. He was totally embedded in it, and he's very much one of that wave of sort of highly regarded young managers coming through. So it was interesting to sort of spend a bit of time with him, and I was slightly surprised when he left, but I think when you come to a club like this, it's obviously a step up in terms of ambition, stadium, everything sort of settled here, training ground, everything, ownership. But he just needs time, and if you're going to employ a manager like that who's got his own ideas, he'll need a couple of transfer windows, but also he just needs time. I can imagine that having seen some of the results that Bristol City fans, who dearly love Nigel, as we all do. I mean, the amount of videos I've done for Nigel down the years. One of them for his, can't remember, it was a big birthday that he had, and he and I always had this thing. Whenever we went anywhere, we would go swimming. So I went and dived into a river with a bottle of beer and came up like a rather drunken submarine, holding the beer and wishing him happy birthday, because Nigel's the type of guy, I'm a sort of journalist, on the outside, and you can understand why players warm to him, fans warm to him. So losing Nigel, was obviously a big, was a big loss, probably health-wise, and I think he left the training ground on crutches, didn't he? I mean, you'd know better than I would. So look, that was everyone loves Nigel, so for Liam to follow was not always going to be the easiest, but give people time. I know we live in an impatient society, an impatient sport, and managers get judged on the next corner, let alone the next game, the next month, the next year. But I think your owners here, I mean, having spent a bit of time with Lee Johnson down the years, there are probably a couple of times, and you know better than I would, when the Lansdowne could have bombed him out. Because he was a slightly streaky manager. He would go on a run of defeats and a run of wins and all that. So give him time.
Yeah. And
what do you think of him?
Who of
Liam
Manning? I think the jury's still out, if I'm honest. He's very different to Nigel Pearson, who was your old school football manager. Here's Liam Manning, more time on the training ground, talks about processes and things like that. And I think he's the kind of guy that needs results for the fans to really warm to him. Yeah.
He showed me on his computer the basically the sort of briefs that he was using, or was like PowerPoint presentations when he went in to see managers, and it was the detail was just phenomenal. Whereas Nigel obviously had a lot of that, but Nigel was very much spoke from the heart, whereas Liam's stuff is extraordinary. So the detail is there. But like anything in life, that Sir Alex Ferguson, probably the greatest manager and Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp, the best three managers in this country over the last 30 years. Their greatest skills, as well as obviously had the finances for recruitment, tactically, it's people skills in any walk of life. You've got to have those, and Nigel had those. And I found Liam very engaging, quite funny. Walking around, particularly when we went in his office at Oxford United, and I thought they'd have burglars because there was nothing in it, but he said no, the builders are coming in and developing things. So there was a coffee machine in there, actually, very modern coach. He had a very nice coffee machine.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I expected George Clooney to be sort of serving it in the corner. So but give him time.
Because I just wonder, the only time that Henry Winter comes to Ashton Gate is for cup games. Do you think you'll ever come here for a Premier League match? What's needed for that dream to become a reality? City talk about Luton and Coventry reaching the playoffs last season. There's no reason they can't do it, and yet they're currently 14th in the table. Yeah,
14th in the table. Do you know, it might be because, and you'd know better than I would, the cup runs, the managers that you had and the opposition who came here, the players were so up for it, the fans were so up for it, that actually the cup runs almost became the focus. And you'd know better than I would, and whether that was slightly distracted, I would love to see Bristol City in the Premier League. I think it would just be it'd just be amazing.
Well, the year they reached the League Cup semi-finals, they were top of the table with Wolves at Christmas, and they just fell dramatically. And I think the Cup was probably responsible for that.
Yeah, I mean that's frustrating, but it's night like tonight. I mean that's why the Cup is so important, particularly in the era of the Super League. Particularly topical today when you look at Rick Parry and Richard Masters going up before the sort of DCMS committee and talking about the future of English football, how the Premier League funds the pyramid, the EFL in particular, and that is just so important because you probably went to some of the games behind closed doors. They were absolutely miserable. Yeah. The fans were important, the clubs were important, the community. I'm on the fortunate to be on the EFL judging panel for the 72 clubs on their community projects. The work that Bristol City and Bristol Rovers do in the community is more than impressive. It's absolutely vital, particularly in the era of COVID, particularly in the era of cost of living crisis, unemployment, all the sort of the issues that we have in modern society. And football clubs have become like the modern church. They are the beacon for the community, and so Bristol City to go up would be amazing. But I always say if the Premier League didn't exist, the Championship would just, everyone in the country would go, wow, we got an amazing top division, because the Championship is it's a basket case. You get Rooney parachuted in there, and then you look at the teams at the top, and then you got Kieran McKenna reviving Ipswich, and then you got Michael. I spent a year with Michael Carrick helping him write his book, and just the meticulous nature of the man. And he was thinking, should I be a coach or go into management? Because he's slightly not introverted, but he's not an obvious extrovert, which I think you do need an element of that to be a manager. But look at him now. There's so many stories in there. There's so many dogfights in there. So it's hard. But in Bristol City, we've got a house in Clifton. I mean, Bristol City went up.
We're all ready.
Yeah, we're absolutely ready. I rented out some players rather than students.
Hopefully the next time I see you is a Premier League match. I appreciate your time as always.
Pleasure. Hope to see you at Wembley.
Henry Winter talking before today's match down in the press room, his view on the state of football in the West Country. And West Ham are just coming back out. A reminder that it's Birmingham 0, Hull City 1, Bolton 1, Luton 1 and Eastleigh 0, Newport 1. There's been a goal into the second half at Molineux. It's now Wolves 1, Brentford 2. Here at Ashton Gate, Bristol City lead West Ham by a goal to nil. That early goal from Tommy Conway, coolly rounding the goalkeeper and eventually tucking the ball into an empty net. City are 45 minutes away from knocking a Premier League side out of the FA Cup. Let's find out how they get on in the second half. Your commentary team, Gary Hours and Ed Hadwin.
Thank you very much, Rich. Yes, we've got one team back out, and I'm just trying to tot up the numbers. I think they're one player short. I'd be slightly surprised if they do make a change at the break, but at the moment the City subs are still going through their little half-time routines and games as fans start to flood back from the concourses. And it's probably just worth reiterating the point, as the City players do now come and rejoin us, that you look at this West Ham bench and they've got an experienced right back, an experienced central defender, an experienced goalkeeper, and then the rest of the squad less so, which doesn't mean they can't come on and make an impact. We've seen that with City's youngsters in recent times, but it's certainly not going to help David Moyes as he looks at this game in a match where City have been easily as good as their opponents, and now it's about seeing it over the line in the next 45 minutes. Doesn't look like any changes for either of the two teams. So City have got Max O'Leary in goal, a back three of George Tanner, Zach Viner and Rob Dickey. It's Ross McCrory playing as the right wing back, Cam Pring on the left hand side, Joe Williams and Matty James the holding midfielders, with Taylor Gardner-Hickman and Anis Mehmeti in front of them, and behind Tommy Conway. Their bench: Stefan Bajic, Harry Cornick, Andy King, Jason Knight, who is ill, remember, which is why he's not starting tonight, Sam Bell, Naki Wells, Hayden Roberts, Jamie Knight-Labelle and Raekwon Nelson. They've got the red shirts with the double white pinstripes, white shorts and red socks. West Ham all in royal blue. It is the same team that played in the first half for them as they get us underway, attacking towards their fans in the Atyeo stand. and they launch it long with Cresswell, and ducking underneath that one, rightly so, is George Tanner, and out into touch it goes for a throw. So just quickly their team: Lucas Fabianski, the goalkeeper; Konstantinos Mavropanos, Kurt Zuma, and Aaron Cresswell, the back three; Vladimir Soufal is the right wing back; Emerson on the left hand side; James Ward-Prowse and Thomas Soucek holding midfielders, with Maxwell Cornet and Syed Benrahma either side of Danny Ings. And Gary, it's all about more of the same, really.
Yeah, I think so. Start the second half hopefully as brightly as the first half. That would be nice, but got to be very, very wary. Keep saying surely West Ham have got to have a little bit more somewhere than what we've seen so far.
Yeah, and I do think the one thing City need to do much better is stop giving away free kicks around the edge of their box. Stop trying to they're not trying to concede corners, but that is an area where with the delivery of Ward-Prowse you're going to put yourself into all sorts of trouble.
Yeah, he has fantastic quality, we've seen that, and that would certainly help them if they can avoid that, giving away costly and cheap free kicks.
Pass back, which led to the goal, of course. That one was a bit better from Emerson, but didn't really give Fabianski a great deal of option but just to get rid of it quickly. And straight into touch it goes. David Moyes, who used to grace this pitch as a player, of course, quickly recovering the ball, knowing his team need to get back into the game. Throwing down the line is half cleared, but Williams stabs it forward. Zuma standing firm. McCrory gets it well in the air, clipped forward. It's going to come to Conway. He's wide on the inside right position though. As a West Ham player, Ward-Prowse down, and he's holding his head. The home fans are upset, and it may not be serious, but he went up with McCrory. It was a good contest, and if it is a potential head injury, the referee's got no choice. Yeah,
I mean, he had a good look. In fairness, Ward-Prowse is trying to get up. He's still on all fours. City will get the ball back, of course, in that wide position, but didn't really want the game to stop at that moment, did they?
No, they didn't, which is why the home fans, who are still flooding back into the ground from the concourses, are not very happy. And we had a drop ball in the first half, which had to be retaken because it was hit on the volley and didn't actually drop, which rather defeats the object of it. The referee saying to Benrahma, go away, because it's supposed to be an uncontested drop ball, and it is. And Gardner-Hickman able to go back to Zach Viner. Ball being played around in the centre of the pitch. Now Viner is going to go a little bit longer, slightly slices across that one. McCrory does well to keep it in. Heads it to Ward-Prowse, who's volleyed it forward, but there's literally no one who's going to get anywhere near that. Campering loads of time to just cushion it back to the keeper, and O'Leary quickly into it to Rob Dickey. That was a poor press from corner. He just didn't look where the red shirts were, and that's a nice idea from Dickey. It's not going to be reached by Gardner-Hickman, but he was trying to play it into a good area, and then Gardner-Hickman kept going and forced a poor clearance from the keeper. Tanner now having a little drive forward, gets clattered. Referee says no foul. That is a foul.
Oh, there's afters there.
Yeah, there is afters.
It'll be interesting.
Well, the referee's already got a yellow card in his hand, and I think, to be honest, both players could do that. So it was a foul, and I think a yellow card by Williams. He's followed through and he's caught Benrahma. But Benrahma then, sort of on his back, seemed to then kick out
definitely
at Williams, and the referee, well, he's placed his yellow card back in his pocket. He's had a little chat with the assistant on this near touchline. All of the players, apart from the two goalkeepers, are within a couple of yards of each other. Benrahma's still down on the ground, and what is going to result here? It was all a bit much ado about nothing.
Well, it was a yellow card, you're right, Ed, but he definitely kicked out. He retaliated. The referee's got to make a decision.
Well, we'll wait and see. I think Williams will get a yellow card and he'll fully deserve it because he was late. He clattered into him, and now Williams having a chat with the fourth official. He's now talking to Liam Manning, and the referee is wanting to talk to him, and he's going to get the yellow card. And the fans are booing, but it's as straight a yellow card as you'll see.
And did he not catch Ings as well in the first half?
Yeah.
This is interesting then.
Well, now the home fans trying to put a bit of pressure on
the yellow
Darren
card's
England.
Gone in his pocket.
It has.
If he's going to produce another,
we'll wait and see. So Benrahma's being helped to his feet.
Oh,
the referee is reaching for the top pocket. It is a red card. He's off. and Benrahma is off for his retaliation. He looks crestfallen. Gardner-Hickman talking to all his teammates, pointing to his temples and saying, calm down. I understand his frustration, but it's just sheer stupidity from Benrahma.
I think the referee's got no choice other than
if he's kicked him in the chest, what do you do?
It's a yellow card. He's clearly kicked him off the ball, after the ball, probably right in front of the linesman.
Yeah.
And he's had plenty of time to think about it. They've probably communicated, and away went the yellow card. So was he going to pull out the red card from the top pocket? Yes, he was. And West Ham are down to 10 men.
Long ball forward, Ings trying to battle through 2 or 3 red shirts, but can't do it, and it ricochets back to Max O'Leary, who takes his time picking it up. So now with a goal advantage and a man advantage, City will look at this and say they've got to be sensible and not just play defensive football, but there should be a lot more space on this pitch to make West Ham run after them.
Exactly that. They've got to get on the ball. They've got to keep the ball at times. They've got to try and run their legs out of West Ham, and they've got to get the second goal. They've got to get the second goal.
Yeah, that you feel, if not kill the game, it would come pretty close to it, as McCrory trying to cut in field on Cresswell, just gets his ankles tapped. Referee gives the free kick. Emerson trying to have a little word with McCrory. McCrory smiles and walks past him, and the Italian defender looks a bit disconsolate. Listen to that. 1-0 up, 11 against 10. Can City pull off a giant killing in this competition? It's been a while.
Yeah, I mean, let's not get too excited. Let's just watch the game, enjoy the game.
Long ball forward here, asking Gardner-Hickman to chase. Cresswell does well to stay in front of him, and then he gets a little bit fortunate that the ricochet takes it behind, and it's a goal kick, nothing more than that. But that was, I always feel sorry for players who react, because, you know, in the heat of the moment, you'd all like to say, oh, you shouldn't do it, but you know, to do that, it's violent conduct all day long. It's just sheer stupidity.
Yeah, it is. I think the ref's got it right. He was calm, you know, he took his time, he got the book in, the yellow card, he got that spot on, and I think he got the red card spot on as well.
Yeah, and City looking to play forward. Conway was trying to cushion that ball into his path, just got away from him a little bit, allowed the West Ham player to nip in and take it off him. Back to the keeper it goes. Fabianski being very calm and composed there into Souček, who finds Zuma, and now Ward-Prowse, but this is 5-10 yards outside his own box. Ward-Prowse clips the ball out to the right hand side, where Soufal is looking to drive forward, gets them on the front foot, wide to Cornet, slightly behind him, and then Cornet's passes behind Soufal, and that's easy for City to pick up, but then sloppy from City, and that's what they've got to be wary of. They were sloppy at times in the second half against Preston. They can't afford that tonight. I don't think they will be necessarily, because the atmosphere is different, as Mehmeti earns a throw-in and nothing more over on the far side. But there have been a couple of moments where City have played lackadaisical balls out from the back.
Yeah, and they've got to cut them out. It's concentration. I've just seen a replay, Ed. Benrahma had 2 bites at the cherry.
Did he have 2 goes?
To kick out, so he missed to the first one, then he let another one fly. Definitely a red card.
Yeah.
No arguments with that whatsoever.
No. And it's his own silly fault. So, 8 minutes of the second half played. City 1, West Ham 0. 6th in the Premier League. West Ham 0. Let's not forget. And City just very calmly passing the ball around near the halfway line at the moment. Then George Tanner can clip that one forward towards Gardner-Hickman. Rides the first challenge, but then can't release McCrory down the right hand side. Souček, a little swinging arm there, I think caught Gardner-Hickman, but he's getting on with it, and it's West Ham in possession.
Yeah, West Ham 4-4-1, as you'd imagine, out of position, but you know, they've got to try and get back into this game when they've got the ball, so it's sort of a 4-2-3 if you like, still trying to get players pushed on in wide areas. Central striker through the middle.
Well, we'll see if it works, but at the moment it's City in complete control of this game. But while it's 1-0, it's always still in the balance. West Ham can't get anywhere near the ball at the moment. City not showing any interest in getting it forward particularly, but keeping them very much at arm's length. Ball played out to the left wing, Pring to Mehmeti and then back to Dickey. Dickey stepping forward, but it's all calm, composed possession here. There's not a West Ham player that's got within 3 or 4 yards of the ball at the moment.
I mean, the shape is perfect set up to play against 10 men. The three at the back should be able to keep the ball all day long from the one West Ham striker, and then obviously as they move up the pitch they've got overloads. So as
Souček drags Joe Williams to the floor and then pushes Gardner Hickman away. I think he's on his last warning there, Souček. It wasn't a nasty foul, but he's a grab him round the neck and throw him to the floor move.
Yeah, and the big thing, West Ham are down to 10. City have got to keep the discipline. Nothing stupid, no rash tackles. Joe Williams, I think, he is on a yellow, isn't he? You know, don't give away that man advantage is what I'm trying to say.
They're taking the free kick short, then down the channel it goes towards Conway. Conway looking to get to the dead ball line, does so, whips it over, but it's way too high, and that's going to go 5 yards over the head of anybody who might have got on the end of it. And in fact, it must have curled out. The ball's moving. I thought it was a throw-in, but it's a goal kick. But the ball was moving when Fabianski took it, and the referee says, no, you can't do that. Take it back, and let's start again. So, 11 and a half minutes gone in the second half. Tommy Conway's goal after just 2 and a bit minutes separating these two teams, and West Ham with the red card to side Benrahma down to 10 men. Poor pass forward from Zuma, well stepped in by McCrory to win it. Joe Williams does well to shield it, gets it back to Tanner down the line, it's offside. Conway got there in front of Zuma, but the flag went up. We're not in a line to be able to say whether it is or it isn't, so there's no complaints from Conway, but just the wrong side of that West Ham back line.
Yeah, it's that ball again though, we said in the first half he can get in against Zuma from a long forward pass, played with some quality.
Ball punched forward but well intercepted there by Dickey, and then Mehmeti does well to get it past Soufal. Conway's 5 yards offside there. That's a bit like it was at the London Stadium when he ended up scoring, but that was just as simple. Even I could have seen that one from not in line.
Even I can see that one's offside. I'm not getting
save your voice this time. It's getting closer, but City have got a long way to go yet. They are a goal to the good and a man to the good here at Ashton Gate on the midweek match on BBC Radio Bristol and BBC Radio Somerset, looking to make it through to the 4th round of the FA Cup, and Sam Bell is being ready to come on. And you wonder whether that's going to be Ross McCrory going off. I'm not sure he can do a full 90 having been out for so long, and he certainly offers you a bit more of an attacking outlet out there.
Yeah, I mean, steady. You can see when he's in full flight, when he's fully up to speed and running, he's going to be quite forceful in his play, I think, driving forward.
As West Ham produced a couple of passes, ball into the danger zone, and Zach Viner actually could have let that one go but didn't feel like he could, so he's headed it behind, and you get the feeling that this may be their best opportunity to get an equaliser now from a set piece, and it is going to be a corner kick, curled in, probably outswinging.
Outswinger, yeah, so go to attack it, he's kicking it away from the goal.
And Bell is just going to wait until after this set piece before any change is made. Certainly if it is McCrory going off, you'd want him for his aerial ability in there for this. So Ward-Prowse ready to deliver, right-footed, low to the near post. Souček does get a little flip, but it hits a City player, Gardner Hickman, who's I think got one in the face there. It's come back to Ward-Prowse outside of the boot, but Gardner Hickman again gets in the way. Just a bit anywhere will do, but he clears the area easily enough. Emerson just hooks it again, anywhere will do. One in the air by West Ham, cleared by Viner. Only as far as the far side. Soufal high hanging across. There's literally no blue shirt within 15 yards of him. And David Moyes has just walked out of his technical area, arms splayed, and then throws his hands down to his sides as if to say, what on earth was that?
Yeah, I mean, you can see that he's getting frustrated. He knows his side are in trouble, no doubt about that.
And Naki Wells is also going to be coming on. So it's going to be a double change for City on the hour mark. As Rob Dickey plays it short to Mehmeti. Mehmeti being encouraged to switch play to this near touchline where McCrory wants it, but it's staying on the far side. That's nicely worked by City then. Mehmeti forward into the path of James claimed to get it further forward, and then offside against Cam Pring. That's such a shame. They'd worked that really well. He smacked against the outside of the post, but none of it is going to matter because the offside flag had gone up before that. But they worked that really well, and those opportunities for overloads will be there against the man disadvantage. And Ross McCrory making his home debut, his full debut, getting a good round of applause from the home fans for a decent 60 minutes.
Yeah, he'd be delighted to get them under his belt.
And Tommy Conway is the other man going off. He doesn't look overly enthused to be leaving, but he's been told to go behind the goal, and he's getting a rapturous reception from the south stand as he walks behind that goal.
I think he was quite pleased to get told to go behind the goal.
Well,
he's
yeah.
going to milk this, and why not? Very, very influential in the two games. Potential match winner there.
Well, it certainly brings fresh legs onto the pitch. As the ball forward, good strong header there from Dickey. Won by West Ham in the middle of the pitch, but back it goes to Zuma. As Conway getting the applause now as he walks down this near touchline, coming towards us. Almost like a very slow Mexican wave of City fans sort of standing up to applaud him as he comes by. As then good work there from Sam Bell, who picked up a floated crossfield ball. Little nudge in the back, silly from Naki Wells. Zuma looked like a baby giraffe on ice skates there, and Wells just gave him a little nudge, which he didn't need to do, and it is a soft free kick, and it probably is the free kick.
No, I mean, we've said it before. I mean, clearly he operates at the highest level, week in, week out, Zuma, but sometimes he just doesn't look mobile, does he?
It's like he's got somebody else's legs sometimes, because he's got real pace and power, and you can see as a one-on-one defender he'd be a nightmare to get past, but when he's in possession he just doesn't look like he ever wants the ball. City needing to do some defending here and doing it well through Tanner. Tries to slide that ball into Gardner-Hickman, does well to get there in front of Cresswell, and then Cresswell and Gardner-Hickman getting involved here.
Don't get involved. He's had another go.
Yeah, and now the ball is away from them, but he's definitely got a little bit of that to him, Gardner-Hickman. He's got a explosive streak in him. The fourth official saw it all. It was right in front of him. He's no doubt talking to the referee. You'd feel that he'd stop play if it was going to be a red card, but we'll wait and see as Sam Bell is driving forward into space here. He's driving infield as Bell. He's got options to lay it off to. One of them's Mehmeti. Mehmeti driving towards the edge of the area, lays it wide to Pring, who made sure he was onside this time. Lays it back to the edge of the box. Williams' first time shot, well wide of target, and the referee now will blow his whistle and say slow down.
They're still at it.
Gardner-Hickman,
he's got to walk away. Walk away.
He needs calming down. He's pushing a player away in the chest. It's in the chest. He's getting a yellow card. If I'm Liam Manning, I'm taking him off.
Yeah, I mean, he's 1, 2, 3 players going down the left-hand side. They've both got yellow cards.
Yeah,
but
I think that there was a bit of silliness from both, but Gardner-Hickman was much closer to the red than Cresswell was.
It's not about that. It's about keeping calm. It's about not even going anywhere near putting any doubt in the referee's mind. They've got the advantage. They've got to keep it. They've got to keep it.
Well, he's saying he's okay now. He was the one who was pointing to his head after Ben Rama was sent off. Let's hope that he can maintain his composure, having just signed that 5-year deal to remain a permanent City player. City now putting pressure on West Ham at the back. They beat that press well enough. Cornet trying to lay the ball infield, but again City working hard to win it back. Ward-Prowse just shifts it before Pring can win it, but then again forcing the quick ball downfield, and Max O'Leary you could see him umming and ahhing whether to come and get that one. In the end he's raced out of his box and hacks it away for a throw-in out on the far touchline. 64 minutes played, City 1-0 up. At the moment they would be in the hat for the fourth round of the FA Cup and a home tie against Forest or Blackpool, but there's plenty of football to be played first. Soufal with a long throw into the danger zone, headed away by Dickey only as far as the edge of the area. Emerson's shot blocked behind by Dickey again, but it is a corner kick and it's on the far side, which means a Ward-Prowse outswinger.
Yeah, I mean it's only set players. That was a long throw, picked up the second ball, and now a corner, so they're only really threatening from set play situations. West Ham.
Yeah, and I think that's the way it's going to likely continue. Ben Johnson's going to be coming on in a minute, the right back for West Ham. Ward-Prowse to deliver to the near post. It's headed away by Gardner-Hickman. It's coming back towards Ward-Prowse. Mehmeti's gone to close him down. Soufal's there on the overlap, but Mehmeti has done a pretty good job of closing him down. He still gets the cross in, but Bell able to side foot it clear as far as Cresswell. Cresswell looking to float it back into the danger zone. One in the air by a West Ham head. Pring heads it up rather than away. To the edge of the box it goes, and Kurt Zouma, well, if that was a clearance at the other end, he'd be being celebrated, but as a shot on target, it was 10 yards wide and probably 15 yards high.
Yeah, it just set up nicely for him as well for the volley, but it's an awful attempt.
And it's Soufal who's going off for Ben Johnson to come on. So, like for like replacement, right back for right back. They'd probably offer a little bit more. I think Johnson's a bit more impressive going forward sometimes, but I think as much as anything it's just down to a pair of fresh legs and trying to match up against Pring on that far side.
Yeah, well, they need both. They need fresh legs and they need adventure as well if they're going to get back in the game. West Ham.
Dickey, that's a lovely ball into the path of Mehmeti. Mehmeti's got time to turn, if he can switch the play. Bell's in acres of space on this near side, stabs it through, but it's behind Wells. Never had a chance of picking that one up. To be fair, the crossfield ball to Bell was the right one, but that would have taken quite something to pull that one off. And now West Ham looking to try and break quickly. Cornet on the edge of the area into the danger zone. There's a great play from Max O'Leary. Souček breaking onto the ball. Lovely cross from Cornet. Hit it on the volley from 8 yards. It might have been hitting the bar. It might have been just underneath. O'Leary wouldn't have known, and he's tipped it over.
Oh, I think that's gone in all day long. That's a terrific save. Great cross in. First time volley. Yeah, that's gone in. What a save from Max O'Leary. Tip from underneath his crossbar over.
So Ward-Prowse in swinging right footer. They've loaded the 6-yard box here, West Ham. O'Leary gets a fist to it, gets it out of the area. Cresswell under pressure, just about gets the ball away, but it's under hit, and again Sam Pell nips in, but all he can do really is fly hack it down the pitch, and Johnson is there to tidy things up. Looks to fire it towards Ward-Prowse. Good tackle on him by Bell, but it's another throw in, and for the first time in the second half, West Ham trying to get a little head of steam up.
Yeah, they're just having a little go at the minute. Supporters can sniff that as well, just get behind them.
Throw and taken short. Cresswell can't get past Bell. Ward-Prowse trying to flick it with the outside of the boot past Bell, but again the City wide player as he is at the moment stands in the way, and it's cleared up towards the halfway line. Joe Williams controls it on his chest, but it's a heavy touch. It's taken off him by Souček. Now tied up and recycled. Emerson going back to Zouma. Ball played to Ward-Prowse. Now Johnson on that far touchline looking to cut in field, but again faced by a wall of red shirts, so back it goes. Mavropanos clips it down the line to Cornet. Cornet wants it on his left foot. Little reverse ball. Finds Johnson, but also finds Cam Pring there and running back towards his own goal. He hasn't really got much option other than to put it out for a throw.
Yeah, well, we expected West Ham to have a spell of pressure.
Cross comes into the box. It's too high for Ings. It should be out on this near side for Sam Bell, who just volleys that one as far as he can down the pitch, and Gardner-Hickman was thinking about chasing it, but realised that the keeper could just dribble it into his box whenever he wanted to, so gives up on the halfway line.
Yeah, maybe have a spell of pressure, but not with 10 men. But they've had a good little 5-minute spell where they've asked a few questions.
And now it's Mavropanos playing it to Zouma on the halfway line. He's got Ward-Prowse looking to play that quarterback role. Ward-Prowse doesn't see the pass he wants. The Section 82 bouncing around as the fans did at the London Stadium 9 days ago. Enjoying themselves over there as well they might. Good work from Mehmeti there, putting Johnson under pressure, forcing him to go backwards. Now the fans in the Dolman joining in.
It's our turn next. Get ready, Ed. Here we go. Here we go.
I'm not sure my colleagues in the press sat behind us would particularly appreciate me jumping up and down, but
not sure my knees would either.
Yeah. As West Ham launch the ball forward. It's one in the air by Dickey, bouncing around in midfield. Nobody can win it cleanly at the moment, but then Emerson gets past a couple of players, and then a speculative long-range shot. He appeals for a corner kick. It's not one. I didn't see any deflection on that. It was 5 yards wide. I think O'Leary had it covered, and he takes the free goal kick relatively quickly out to Cam, bringing plenty of space on that far touchline.
Well, it's going well when everybody's bouncing.
Yeah.
Let's keep bouncing.
Enjoy themselves. They've got 20 minutes of this game plus whatever added time there is left to go, and at the moment City just getting themselves foothold back in the game. They're passing it around neatly enough. Gardner Hickman just drifted past Emerson, who let him go, and now it's into the path of Wells into the area. Can he finish it? Right footed. Oh, the keeper saves it, and he gets a little bit lucky. It kind of goes through his hands and then arcs agonisingly wide of the far post. That was really well done, but it was sloppy from West Ham in defensive.
It was. It's a great opportunity for City to go further ahead. Naki Wells does the right thing, I think, fires it hard with power across the goalkeeper. Sort of did slip through his hands. Could have went anywhere, just went behind for a corner.
Going to get a double change in a minute with Jason Knight and Harry Cornick coming on. So more attacking substitutes, but not before this corner kick is taken. It's taken short by Gardner Hickman to Mehmeti. Mehmeti low into the area as a prize for handball. We couldn't see what it hit from there, but that would have been a super harsh handball against Cornet. It's cleared at least partially, but one back by City, and loads of space here for Joe Williams to assess his options. There's not a lot to his right. There's only really Sam Bell. That's where it goes. Bell just recycles it back towards the halfway line. Joe Williams wants a bit of movement, gets it from Tanner. Tanner then just checks back and finds Williams once more, and that's what they can do now. The out ball is there for them all evening long, and then they break the lines through Gardner Hickman, who clips it towards the other box. It's not a good pass, that. It was a sort of loopy one, slightly behind Naki Wells. He sort of threw a boot at it, but was never really going to get there. And then West Ham just looking to try and use the pace of Cornet, but I don't think he's necessarily going to get past Viner in a running race, and he's certainly not going to get on the end of a poor quality ball like that.
Oh, that was a shame. Gardner Hickman, he got on the half turn to play forward. He's just got to slide that ball on the floor. Wells is in.
Yeah, and then he's likely to put that one away as Pring driving forward and then kicks it out wide to Mehmeti. Mehmeti first time left-footed. Good delivery, well put behind by Johnson. Corner kick, and still the substitutes wait inside the final 20 minutes. The last one went short. This one's going short too to Gardner Hickman. Nobody's closed him down. Gardner Hickman chops past his man, looks to cut it back to the edge of the area. James with the outside of the boot, little clip, and Gardner Hickman I think would have been offside had he touched that one, but as he didn't, it's another corner kick. He's adjusting the lace on his shorts.
Yeah, take your time. Yeah. Get the delivery right. Good attacking opportunity. We know he's got quality.
Well, the last two have gone short. They've sent two out to watch that one, so this one I think is going into the mixer. Gardner Hickman does that. Good strong header away from Souček. It's only out as far as Tanner. Tanner's shot is easily blocked, but James is going to recycle it, plays it wide to Mehmeti. Mehmeti on his right foot looked like he was winding up for a shot there. Finds Matty James instead, and now Mehmeti racing towards the area. Jinking this way and that way. A lovely ball in towards Naki Wells. Gets taken off his toes before he can turn. Wide it goes to that far side, and Gardner Hickman again into the danger zone. Headed away. Ings controls it but then gives it away. It's Pring driving forward. His shot gets a deflection, comes all the way out to Sam Bell on this near edge of the area. Bell shifts it out wide. Can he get the cross in? He does dig it out, but it's a good pair of hands there from Fabianski, the former Polish international. That one came at him sharply, and he claimed it well.
Yeah, good pressure from City. Keep the ball alive in around the edge of the area. Eventually shifting it wide to Sam Bell. Just goes on the outside, fires out one across. Fabianski plucked it out the air.
Now Johnson having a maraud down the far touchline. Mehmeti sort of tracking him, but he can't catch up with him. Then Cam Pring gets involved, and then Johnson just overruns it as he changes direction. Rob Dickey was there to deal with it. Mehmeti might be one of those going off, you would think. Gardner Hickman is one of them. He looks up to the heavens, he's frustrated, but I think that's probably the right decision. He's done well tonight, but the last thing City want is to get the number of players levelled up, and it is Mehmeti, the other one, coming off for Cornick. So the two players behind striker Naki Wells going off, and Gardner Hickman looks disconsolate, but I think Liam Manning's got that spot on, Gary.
I think so. Just takes away that element of risk He did get himself a little bit heated and was shown the yellow card. Can just have a little rest now. Hopefully Jason Knight's alright. I mean, talking about illness, but he's fit enough to be on the bench. I don't think they take any chances in a game of this importance.
No. I think if you're not fit to play at all. He probably just wasn't fit for a full 90, playing the way that he probably has to play, which is 100 miles an hour. I can't imagine him sort of walking around sort of lackadaisically. It's not in his nature, is it?
No.
So, City, a goal to the good. 15 minutes left to play. Can they beat West Ham United here at Ashton Gate and produce a third round cup shock and earn a home tie in the next round? It's a good stretch from Knight for a first touch. He's looking to try and release a killer pass here into Wells, who gets it past his man and tried to play in Cornick, but he got tripped. Play was allowed to continue. It comes to Knight. He has a bobbly long range left footed shot. It's a lovely turn from Wells. He sold his defender completely, got hooked, could have been given as a free kick. Referee decided to allow the advantage.
Yeah, a little bit frustrated, and then second phase of ball broke to Jason Knight, driving through the middle of the pitch, but it wasn't really a very strong effort. Straight at the goalkeeper.
Now West Ham have it, but it's deep in their own half, and City are committing bodies to try and pin them in there. Long crossfield ball. Sam Bell gets up and gets there in front of his man. It's come off his head and out over the sideline for a throw-in. But as long as they pin West Ham up there, and they've still got the three defenders up against one striker really at the moment. Ings is sort of now moving a bit further forward, but they're not lacking in numbers back there. They can afford to press when the time is right. Suchek has to stretch to control that one. Now Mavropanos looking for the long ball down the far touchline. Again, Max O'Leary is out of his area and taking no chances. Good strong defensive header out over the sideline for a West Ham throw, which is going to be taken back.
Foul throw
to Johnson
by a mile.
Yeah, but it's not given, or it is. Yeah, it is.
Every week, honestly, it's that one was embarrassing. He had to kick the back of his head with his heel.
Yeah, it was a long way off the floor. You don't often get them picked up, do you?
That's because of probably normally a yard from the linesman and they forget to check. But pretty obvious, that one.
So it's a City throw, which Cam Pring launches down the touchline. Johnson wins it in the air, gets the ball back at his feet, does really well to escape the clutches of the City player on the far side, and then work down the far touchline, and a chance to break for Johnson now. Corney found him neatly. High hanging cross looking for Danny Ings, who then barges into O'Leary, and then yes, the referee got that one right. In the first half, Max O'Leary dropped one which was completely his fault. That one, he caught it and Ings sort of barged him out the way, and he gets the free kick. You know, as soon as that happens, it's going to be a whistle, and the keeper's going to get the decision.
Yeah, it's a bit of desperation, isn't it? I mean, it was high hanging cross. It invited Max to come and take it. He was always going to be the favourite, and Ings just give him a little nudge.
Going to get a couple of the youngsters coming on. Callum Marshall and Divin Mbama are coming on shortly for West Ham, with 13 minutes left to go. That goal kick is straight into touch inside the West Ham half. Aaron Cresswell with the ball in his hands, plays it back to Zuma, infield to Ward Prowse. Thought about the crossfield ball there, but it was never really on. Back to Mavropanos, tries to play it along the floor, does find Cornet. Cornet clips it wide to Johnson, but it's gone out as a horrible pass to him. I think the Frenchman's actually had a couple of nice touches in the second half, but that wasn't one of them.
He did it, and that's a 10-yard pass with nobody in his line of sight, and he sort of chips it to him. Terrible pass.
City passing the ball around neatly at the moment. Tanner looking to drive forward. Nice little layoff from Bell to find Knight. Knight looking to slip it back down the line to Bell. Can't do it. Gets blocked back to him, and then Tanner recycles it and straight away gets told by his midfielders to go back to his central defenders because it's an easy pass, no pressure on the ball, and City then manoeuvre it away to Cam Pring on the left-hand touchline. Gives it to Cornick. Cornick back to Matty James. He's got 15 yards of space all around him. He just plays it square to Joe Williams. Now Tanner all the way out to Bell. He wants Knight overlapping him, but he's cutting infield instead. Back to Bell it goes, looking for the little give and go, and he's a lovely ball back to him. Bell driven into the near post, and that was an awkward one for Naki Wells. Threw himself at it slightly behind him, tried to adjust his body, couldn't get it on target, just wide.
Yeah, good play from Sam Bell. Little 1-2, the wide position, just zips that back across the near post. Wells comes steaming in, almost but not quite. Wide of target, double substitution for West Ham.
So Aaron Cresswell is going off for the home team. He's been replaced by Callum Marshall. You would imagine they'll just be, I've no idea what Callum Marshall's position is, but you'd imagine he's a midfielder or a forward. He's certainly heading that way, so they're just basically taking off a defender and putting a striker on, and Danny Ings is the other one who's gone off. Not that he's particularly happy about it.
Neither of the West Ham fans, I don't think, they're going to be wondering why they're taking off a striker when they need a goal, but they're obviously replacing with a striker.
So let's see if the youngsters can make any difference. And they've got about 10 minutes and whatever added time we've got to do that. Ball bouncing around in the middle of the pitch. It's going to come to Emerson. Plays it out to this near side, and Cornet gets the ball, but he's got two red shirts facing. That's a really fizz pass back towards Emerson. Cornet then trying to get past Tanner, who beats his man well, and then the second one, Emerson comes in, wins the ball, but it's out for a throw-in to City somewhere near the corner flag. The referee telling him no further than that. He actually went out pretty much inside the quadrant, so he's already stolen 15 yards to where he is. Not that he will care at all. Down the line it goes, one in the air by Cornet, but Matty James just hooks it into the West Ham half. Mavropanos similarly just lashes it forward. Tanner wins it in the air, almost takes out the cameraman just to the side of the West Ham dugout, but he ducks out the way, and it's a West Ham throw. Emerson throwing towards Mbama, but he gets it taken off him. Ball forward from Joe Williams is not really giving Cornick much of a chance, but Cornick's working hard to try and give chase, and then stops when it gets back to Fabianski. Now it's Ben Johnson who's acting as a central defender now, not a right back rather. And at the moment West Ham are passing it, but it's all inside their own half, and it's nicked back, and a chance now from Naki Wells. He's got Knight breaking into the area. Knight just slightly too far in front of him, but he puts the defender Zuma under enough pressure, and again he almost lost his legs underneath him, and in the end he's done well to put it behind for a corner kick.
Yeah, I mean, he's gone down, he's hurt himself. Oh, it's not serious, but he just couldn't sort his feet out, and Knight almost capitalised. Well, he's forced him into a mistake. City have another corner.
He has got a bit of a history of injuries, the former Chelsea man, but as it is, Joe Williams wants somebody to come short. He's going to take the corner kick. 7.5 minutes left to go. City 1, West Ham 0. If you're just joining us here on BBC Radio Bristol and BBC Radio Somerset. Corner swung in towards the far post. It's too deep for anybody. Naki Wells got pinned in there by Cornet, couldn't turn, and it sails over his head and behind for a goal kick. Very much on the finishing straight now, as again it's a real effort for Zuma to sort his feet out. Back it goes to Fabianski. Good strong header forward by Dickey. Mavropanos allows the ball to come to him. No real pressure on the ball there. Nice feet from Johnson on the far side. He's drifting infield. Gives the pass to Souček. Souček keeps it moving to this near side, and Emerson looking to drift infield. Knight showing him inside. Ball goes forward, and then I think that's right, he got caught late by Joe Williams. It's a good run from Emerson, that. And this is a free kick, dead centre of the pitch, maybe 20 yards inside the City half.
Yeah, it's always an awkward position, not much of an angle to flight that one in. Bit of a straight ball. City just got to get that defensive line in the right position.
Yeah, you want to. They've got Mavropanos coming out to this near side and Zuma to the far side. That's where you want to be clipping it, isn't it? In towards the edges of the area and trying to get something volleyed across the box.
Yeah, well, there's nobody marking Cordy at the minute, which I don't understand. Sam Bell just dropping in to do that.
As it's taken short to Emerson. Emerson then does clip it towards the far edge of the area. Good strong header away there from Jason Knight. Going to be picked up by Johnson, but Naki Wells is there with him. That's good defending from Wells. He knew what Johnson wanted to do, stopped him doing it, and conceded nothing worse than a throw-in. 6 minutes just under left to play. Still City lead. Ball whipped in at the near post. Good diving header behind from Joe Williams. There were two West Ham players at the near post, and Williams launched himself to make sure he got there first.
Yeah, I mean, he's been at the centre of everything, really, and Joe Williams, as he has done, for the last 3 or 4 weeks, getting stronger and stronger, really consistent performer at the moment.
Ward-Prowse, hanging corner kick. Dickey gets there first. It's going to be a City player to get to the second ball first and launching it downfield. Harry Cornick really giving chase here. That's good play from Johnson. He could easily have panicked there, but he's been forced all the way back to his keeper, and both players did really well there. Great work from Cornick closing down, and Johnson showing a bit of composure.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he's right to chase Cornick.
Long ball forward, Cornick managing to get it infield to Mbama. Lays it wide. It's a poor pass. It might just be kept in. No, it's not. Marshall sprinted as fast as he could to try and keep it in, but couldn't, and that would be a real kick in the teeth. I mean, that was just a long straight ball. Cornet wasn't being closely enough marked. City's defence cannot afford to switch off. No,
and I hope they don't get deep and nervous late in the game. They should be able to see this through, manage the game as they say now. Nothing silly. They've never really been in any danger, have they? It's been, since the opening goal, I'd say it's been pretty comfortable so far.
O'Leary goes long with this goal kick. Naki Wells beaten in the air by Zuma, but Williams there to put it back inside the West Ham half. Zuma does well to get in front of Wells on that occasion. Emerson just launches it long. It's a free header for Zach Viner. Good distance on that. One more Prowse and Souček play a little head tennis, and that's good work from Naki Wells, nicking in front of Zuma. Just the angle on the ball, taking it over the sideline, not allowing him a little run towards goal. As Zuma put under pressure by Knight, gets it back to Fabianski, who launches it downfield, gets it up to the halfway line, where again Zach Viner wins it easily in the air. It falls to a blue shirt. Zuma giving it to Ward-Prowse, who has to go back to his keeper. 3.5 minutes of normal time to go. Closer and closer we creep to a momentous FA Cup win, frankly, for City. There's good work there from Matty James, stopping Ward-Prowse from turning. He gets the ball back at his feet, does the West Ham midfielder, and now they have it, but it's in the right back position, just looking for the long diagonal. Now over the top, down goes Cornet, looking for the free kick. Referee wags his finger at him, and Sam Bell tidies up neatly, plays it infield to Joe Williams, who's got all the time he wants to pick out a pass. He goes long diagonal looking for Harry Cornick, who's having a running race here with Ben Johnson. Johnson just about beats him to it, and then has again a good bit of composure to get it back to his goalkeeper.
Yeah, he does well. It's quite clever from Joe Williams, because he overhit that pass on purpose, forcing West Ham to defend.
Long ball forward, but it's a straight one, and that's easy as you like for Max O'Leary. Cornet gave chase, but he wasn't within 10 or 15 yards of that, and O'Leary takes every last second he can before he picks it up and bowls it out over arm to Tanner. Finds Bell, back to Tanner, who looks to clip it down this near touchline. Knight will keep it in, back to Bell. They've got an option infield if they want to use it. That's Joe Williams, who turns and changes direction neatly, keeps himself out of trouble, and we're inside 2 minutes. City 1-0 up, heading for, well, the best FA Cup win for a very, very long time. They haven't got a great record in this competition. They certainly haven't beaten a team as high up in the top flight as West Ham in a long, long time. Now Jason Knight drives across the halfway line, then releases the ball to Sam Bell. Bell infield to Wells. Wells turning towards the area, goes for the left-footed shot. Oh, he turns away in frustration. That was a yard or two over the bar, but it was hit with real pace and purpose, and the keeper wasn't getting there.
And it had a bit of curl on as well, curling towards that top corner. Not far wide, that great effort.
Less than 90 seconds of normal time to go. Wells now giving chase to close down Mavropanos. Worked out to Johnson on the far side, but there's not really anywhere he can go, so he has to go all the way across field to Emerson, but he's halfway inside his own half here for West Ham. City making it hard for West Ham to even get the ball forward. Then Mavropanos launching it forward, and again it's awful. No chance at all for Mubama to get on the end of that one, and Max O'Leary again will take every last second he can to pick the ball up before Cornet comes and puts him under pressure.
the lack of quality from back to front from West Ham. It's been dreadful. Overhead passes. How many have gone straight through to Max O'Leary?
Quite a few. As Tanner just a little bit too aggressive with his pass there, gets half picked off, but wins a defensive header. Ward-Prowse trying to get it through Matty James. James bulldozes his way through it and then gets a bit of help from Jason Knight, and now Nahki Wells takes over. Could have tried to play that aggressively forward, but I think he knows at this stage of the match it's won. West Ham aren't going to do anything unless City let them in the game.
No, I don't think. I'm sure I've seen a 4. What did I see? Was that?
Yeah, it's 4, and that's what's coming up now. So we've got 4 minutes of added time with City 1-0 up. Sam Bell jinking his way into the West Ham area, but gets defended away. Now it's taken short, and it's passed around. Cam Pring gets player of the match from the sponsors. There's a couple of slightly lax passes there, but it gets all the way back to Max O'Leary. And that was City not quite knowing whether to stick or twist. There are a couple of players wanting to get into the area and get a shot off, and there are a couple of others looking to just try and keep it in possession.
Yeah, keep possession. You've got to see the game through from this position. No mistakes, no margin for error.
Well, you can hear the crowd. You don't need me to tell you that they are going to try and roar the team over the line. We've played almost a minute of the added 4. Little glancing flick on from Souček there. A City player goes tumbling. It comes to Mbama. Back to Emerson. His cross into the danger zone is headed out by Joe Williams. Who else? Picked up by a blue shirt, but then Cornick does well on Johnson. Rides the first challenge, gets taken off him by Marshall, but Cornick still battling for it. It's a lovely ball from Marshall looking for Mbama. It was slightly overhit if you're going to be critical, but Mbama could maybe have brought it down. He certainly didn't do it, and it's behind for a goal kick, and yet more precious seconds tick away, Gary.
Yeah, I mean, David Moyes has been very animated. He's shown a lot of frustration down there in the technical area. I'm sure that sending off will weigh heavy on his mind, but City was still in the lead at that point.
They were. West Ham have had some half chances. Max O'Leary's had to make one good save in this second half, but that's it. There's never really been under sustained pressure, City, apart from maybe the first 10 minutes of the game. In the first game, has now long ball forward here, has found Knight, and Knight has only got one in the box to aim for if he wants to pick him out. Back it goes to Joe Williams. Williams thought about putting it in and managed to keep hold of it instead. They're looking to just maintain possession and see time out, which I think is the right decision here, unless a really gilt-edged opportunity presents itself, as it might do now with Jason Knight as he shanked it. It's a lovely reverse ball to him by Nahki Wells, and I'm afraid there was not quite enough composure shown by the Irishman.
Yeah, I mean, he's through, and he snatched at the shot as the cross, goalkeeper and wide. Could have took it on a little bit, but the clock is ticking.
And we're, 1 minute and a change of added time left to play. It's West Ham looking for one last roll of the dice, but the attempted ball forward is cut out by Matty James in the City midfield. Now Pring down the line. I think that must have bent out, because you could see the body language there from Nahki Wells was one of frustration. So inside now, the final 60 seconds of what the fourth official showed was going to be allocated. There could always be more, and the home fans trying to roar the team to success. Good strong header there at the back from George Tanner, who's had another quietly effective game in defence, and then leathered as far as he can from Cam Pring, but offside against Harry Cornick. That's frustrating.
Yeah, so, I mean, there can't be long left.
No, it's
got to be almost
30
be
seconds.
30 seconds
added time left to go, plus then whatever the man in the middle decides to add. This is last chance saloon. Fabianski looking to just leather this ball as far as he can down the pitch. Underneath it is Souček, wins it in the air, but it goes square rather than forwards. Matty James hacks it away up towards the halfway line. And then Jason Knight first onto the second ball. Can he squeeze it past his man? Gets a slightly fortunate ricochet. It comes off another West Ham player back into the middle of the pitch. Emerson landing on the legs of Knight there, but he's having a little maraud forward. Maybe the last chance now. We've played the 4 minutes of added time, but West Ham on the attack. Back to Ward-Prowse it goes.
There it is!
And there is the final whistle! Listen to those fans celebrate. Max O'Leary thumps the ball downfield. Well, the scenes in the stands, scarves being whirled around, flags fluttering in section 82. The goal scored just 2.5 minutes into the game by Tommy Conway, seizing on an awful back pass. And after that, well, City have been in control. Said Benrahma's red card for West Ham in the second half made that even more certain. And the fact that they've looked so comfortable against a team currently 6th in the Premier League is a real feather in City's cap. They're into the 4th round of the FA Cup. The final score here, Bristol City 1, West Ham United 0.
And more than well deserved. Over the 2 games, City have been absolutely outstanding. Fantastic second half performance at the London Stadium, earned them a replay. They come back to Ashton Gate, packed house, full house, got the noses in front early on, never looked back, and that is as comfortable as you like.
Commentary with Ed Hadwin and Gary Hours. We're live at Ashton Gate as the City fans celebrate the players' start a lap of honour. And Gary, it's not every day you knock a Premier League side out of the FA Cup.
No, it's not, and you've got to enjoy it. And the City fans that went to the London Stadium will enjoy it even more now, because they've brought them back to Ashton Gate and they've done the business. They were comfortable in the first half, and fair enough, West Ham went down to 10 men in the second half. But apart from one outstanding save from Max O'Leary in the second half, West Ham have hardly laid a glove on City.
And City deserved it. I think they could have scored more goals in the second half.
Yeah, of course they deserved it. They've played better. They've looked pretty solid. West Ham had periods of pressure, especially not pressure, possession. They had periods of possession, especially in the first half, but they never done anything with it. The build-up was too slow. It was laboured. They never really penetrated through the back line of City. And as cup ties go, it's, you know, there was never any nerves from City. I've always felt comfortable sat here watching that. They were never in any danger whatsoever.
Well, the Atio stand is nearly empty already. The West Ham fans making their journey home, but not many empty red seats around the other 3 sides of the ground. The City fans are enjoying this, milking it, and why not? They've knocked a Premier League side out of the FA Cup. You can see Sam Bell heading towards the tunnel. I'm looking for Tommy Conway. He's the hero with the goal, but Cam Pring getting man of the match as well, Gary. It was a team effort today. It
was a team effort. I mean, Cam has done terrific in the 2 games, but everybody was solid. No weak performances. They found a bit extra. I've got to be honest, I was a little bit worried after Saturday because they looked a little bit tired in the second half, but they looked re-energised this evening, full of life, and they're taking the acclaim of the fans, and rightly so. Great night, great night.
Well, the eyes of the nation are on Ashton Gate tonight, and all being well, the 4th round at Cup tie could be another Premier League side coming. Nottingham Forest potentially.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone come here expecting City to win. You know, we're revelling in the result. It's not a massive shock. City were better in the first game, and they were better this evening. No shock whatsoever.
Tommy Conway's already been thrust in front of an interview board, so he's doing the immediate post-match interview for our colleagues at Match of the Day. Ed is heading pitchside as well, and he'll get us some reaction. We're on air till 10:30 tonight, reflecting, enjoying this night where Bristol City have beaten West Ham by a goal to nil. If you want to get in touch, please do. 08000 855 949 is the phone number. 81333 on text. In the scene section, they're not going at all, are they? Gareth Chilcott's probably in the middle of that, leading the bounce.
Well, I'm waiting for one step beyond, and City have gone one step beyond the 3rd round, and we're in the 4th round. Come on.
At BBC Bristol Sport on social media. This is the midweek match on BBC Radio Bristol and BBC Radio Somerset. City have beaten West Ham by a goal to nil.
On BBC iPlayer,
This is DCI Silver.
the award-winning series returns.
The weapons they're developing, the drones, this is how the regime clings to power.
Starring Saran Jones and Rose Leslie.
I love you. Come home, please.
Vigil.
What evidence do you even have?
I have enough.
Watch on BBC iPlayer.
So the midweek match on BBC Radio Bristol, BBC Radio Somerset. Richard Hoskin and Gary Hours up in the press box. 08000 855 949 is our phone number. 81333 on text at BBC Bristol Sports social media. Leah Davis, a City fan, will come and join us in the press box as well for a chat as well and give us her take on tonight's game. And the FA Cup delivering. Apparently this is a competition that's meant to have lost a bit of its magic, but nights like this, it's all worth it, isn't it? It's all special.
No, it's a famous victory, without a doubt, live to the nation, and City have probably impressed everyone that watched that game. They'll be talking about Tommy Conway, they'll be talking about City, and they'll be getting a lot of credit, and there'll be credit that is well earned this evening.
Let me look at some other scores tonight. They're still playing at Molineux, where it's Wolves 2, Brentford 2. Full time, Birmingham City are through to the fourth round of the FA Cup. They've beaten Hull by 2-1. Bolton 1, Luton 2 is a latest score. And Eastleigh 1, Newport County 3. So Newport will play Manchester United in the fourth round of the FA Cup. Bristol City will play Nottingham Forest or Blackpool. Their replay is tomorrow night. And we already know that game will take place on Friday week. So Gary Hours with me up in the press box, and I'm delighted to say joining us as well for a chat is Leah Davis. Hello Leah, big smile on your face.
Yeah, wow.
The last time you were in the press box, City had just sacked Nigel Pearson, and
yes,
we're all a bit of a whiz and a whirl, weren't we?
Yeah.
Nights like this, does it make all the pain worth it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, what a feeling. I can't really speak, it's just amazing.
That's under the radio, doesn't matter. What's your initial reaction just to the game then? Tommy Conway, 3 minutes. It was a dream start, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it set us up really for the game. I think West Ham never really came back in it. I mean, Max made some fantastic saves, all the way to the end of the match, really, putting it over the bar. But I think the support today was fantastic, and I think it really pushed us to get over the line, and we were still creating chances, with Cornick and yeah.
Well, Wells had that chance, didn't he?
Yeah. Night later on had a chance, didn't he?
Yeah.
Broke clear.
Yeah, incredible.
I'm going to say one negative comment, and you can tell me to get lost. Why was City so rubbish at Preston on Saturday, and then they could play like that tonight?
I think it's just the after effects of the atmosphere, 62,500, the intensity of the game, and then you walk out, no disrespect, I've said it, the pitch at Preston was rubbish, the surroundings, it's a neat tidy stadium, but it's not the London Stadium, and they just couldn't lift themselves. There was a few other strange results, teams that were involved in the Cup last week, but they put it behind them, which is the most important thing, and they got the job done tonight.
The red card helped, didn't it? It was kind of a David Beckham kick, a silly kick. There wasn't really much contact. I mean, from the stand, did you get a view of it? And it kind of gave City an advantage, because after that, every time City countered, they looked dangerous and looked like they were going to score. Yeah,
I think it was a stupid mistake that they made, but I think it helped us. And yeah, it did get us over the line. Just great performance.
I thought the send-off was disgusting, actually, because he took aim once and he missed, and he had another pop, and he connected with the second one. The referee, he was calm, he was calculated, he had plenty of time to think about it. It was right under the nose of the linesman, and between them, I think they got the decision spot on.
And I think they were targeting Gardner Hickman afterwards as well, weren't they? And he struggled to keep his emotions in check. So City thankfully didn't get reduced to 10 men.
Yeah, I think it was great to see that passion on the pitch, though. You like to see a bit of that, and I think, like you said, Gary, the ref, I think, called that, a lot of pressure, but he made the right decision. And I think even the West Ham, I've got a West Ham fan, and she texts me, saying how disgusting the tackle is. So I think, it's...
No, it was.
Yeah.
And the good thing was, he got a little bit heated, and he showed his emotion, and Liam just stood back and watched him, and then he made the substitution at the right time. Just take that element of risk He's on a yellow card, and he got Jason Knight on at the right time.
And we go back to the Tommy Conway goal as well. I said it was probably the longest 2 seconds of his life. He rounded the keeper, could have gone down, some players would.